Listen, he said, let's actually play this, Manny. Can we play cut 4? Why he went after Stephen A is because Stephen A is on an all-time heater.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
It started off with, I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Yeah, it went viral. You would have talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you can address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously.
And LeBron, to be fair, like giving Stephen A more of what he wants, which is more oxygen, addressing it. Now Stephen A gets content, and then we get like a whole another 24 hours or whatever off this thing.
So are you saying they're in cahoots here?
No, I don't think they're in cahoots. I think, listen, LeBron also went after Doug Gottlieb about this too, right? And was kind of rubbing it in Doug's face that his Green Bay, University of Wisconsin Green Bay team was doing poorly. And and he used that because Doug was critical. Listen, we've all been critical. I do get it. But he did, I think he makes it more about Bronny's heart condition, and that, I think, garners a lot of sympathy. And you realize, man, this is pretty unbelievable that the kid's even back on a basketball court. So that was one thing.
You're clearly ready to interview LeBron based on that take right there. We get him in studio.
Really?
Yeah, these weren't the fastball questions, but again, it wasn't that type of interview. It's, McAfee, they were just, talking about just like it was like a career retrospective in a lot of ways.
Like a podcast or a little bit like the show The Shop. It had a vibe to The Shop where there's just like 5 guys shooting the, breeze.
Hey, LeBron, we're pulling for your groin.
I wasn't expecting this to be, a crossfire.
60 minutes?
No, nothing like that. No interrogation happening here. And to be honest, I don't know if right at this moment does LeBron deserve an interrogation. I mean, the one thing that the meat on the bone that they really left is, did he actually know about the Luka trade? When did he know? When did he find out? He didn't actually tell us anything about that. He went into, Luka, he's great. We're the ones who have to revolve around him, all that. What did you know? When did you know it? That's what I would have tried to nail down if I were McAfee, but, he's got a different style.
You meaning did LeBron sell out AD? Is that the
I just want to know, because everyone says this was such a closely guarded secret, and I think that it would also maybe indicate where LeBron's relationship is right now with the Lakers, which I think is very good, but did they actually freeze him out of this? I find that hard to believe, and I would have wanted to know.
I just think the whole scenario is weird. Basically, we had a player physically threatening a reporter. I know Stephen A is not a normal reporter, but that was kind of a physical threat. I saw Stephen A saying he was about to swing at LeBron yesterday. I'm like, yeah, right.
Very interested to see how that would have ended.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he said, I would have swung on him. It's like, and you would have hit the floor really hard.
Stay off the weed.
The worst thing that could have happened is he actually makes connection with LeBron. Like, he would have broken his hand on the abs. Anyway, that wasn't going to happen. But we have a player sort of physically threatening a reporter, and 75% of the media is with the player. That is an unusual dynamic, and I think you saw that dynamic play out yesterday. LeBron is not just a player anymore. He's also kind of – I always watch that. I'm like, wow, this guy's in the media. He could be a great color analyst. It feels like he's simultaneously looking back at his career while he's still playing.
Yeah.
Feels like he is almost a producer, kind of like Micah Parsons is a head editor at BR Gridiron. This is a weird dynamic going on with
president
LeBron.
By the way, that's president to you.
President.
Sorry, President Parsons.
But I mean,
why not him?
There is a world where if LeBron wasn't LeBron, where people would have really had a major issue with him towering over little Stephen A and saying, don't talk about my son.
I think that just goes to show that what people might think of Stephen A. Like,
Could be.
Do you have it coming? If you're going to be a loudmouth like that, and you're going to build your brand off being a loudmouth, and then someone finally steps to you, you gotta be ready for it. You can't be shocked.
Is that a little bit like the dynamic when the Rams quarterback Jim Everett went after Jim Rome? Nobody
all-time moment.
Yeah, and it's funny, Rome kind of got famous off of that,
Totally.
and it added
first
to
viral moment of the internet, as far as I'm concerned.
And so maybe this is Stephen A's. Stephen A's already wildly famous. He didn't need this, but the whole thing is weird. And I just thought that the dynamic of LeBron sitting there so comfortable. I found it a very interesting and fun interview to watch because he was very candid for most of it. It wasn't hard-hitting questions, but it was kind of just fun LeBron.
Yeah, he was definitely turning on the charm, definitely turning on the charisma, no doubt about that. The one thing, though, about it, and here's the thing. LeBron will not take accountability for anything. And that was also very clear. So for the LeBron haters out there or people who are sick of him or whatever, he does not take accountability for stuff.
Yeah, he didn't take much accountability for maybe I crossed the line with Stephen A.
Not I crossed the line with Stephen A. Was not even willing to entertain that. Nope. And I don't think he thinks he did. I think he thinks I was defending my family. Will not, take any accountability of, I definitely moved the pieces on the chessboard to get my kid drafted. And again, he'll go back to the heart issue and, Bronny, and that's more of the, sentimental part of this thing. And the kid went through a lot. He will not take any accountability for how the decision impacted people. Even going all the way back to this decision and leaving Cleveland, going to Miami, he could not understand. He still does, according to this, he still can't understand why people were ticked off at that. He can't understand why Cleveland fans were ticked off. We all get it from his point of view. I think people have put themselves in his shoes. He did go to a finals with a bunch of nobodies, which he basically said yesterday. He goes, go back and look at that roster. He dragged that team to the finals. They got swept by the Spurs. We know that. We've all tried to put ourselves in LeBron's shoes. We get it.
Oh, yeah.
He will not put himself in the Cleveland fan shoes.
Yeah.
He will not. So that's no accountability there. And,
again, not a cardinal sin. I mean, he came back to Cleveland. His actions spoke louder than his words in that sense.
But he's always doing it because he's looking for the next best thing, which, again, is fine, but takes no accountability for, I wonder why fans were so ticked off at me for that. I wonder why they were burning my jersey. It's because you basically went on national TV and embarrassed a franchise. Now, I'm not sitting up here saying Dan Gilbert's a great owner. I don't think they did not have a good team around him. He's right. They did squeeze all the juice out of that lemon. So we can understand why he left. But it's like he's oblivious that anyone could have possibly had an issue with that. It seems tone deaf to me. But again, it's all in the past.
I have a question about the level of sensitivity of LeBron and maybe the modern NBA athlete. There was a joke. Boston Connor is one of the guys on the Pat McAfee show. He's hysterical, and he's really funny. He asked a question, and LeBron said, "Oh, you're a Celtics fan." He's like, "Oh, I'm surprised you're not throwing water on me."
A beer
on me. Yeah. Now, I know LeBron was just kidding. But I was just thinking about, wow, what if LeBron played in the 80s when there was real violence in Boston towards other players? We saw this show, Winning Time, about the Lakers, where they were trying to turn over the Lakers bus. I was just thinking, is the level of NBA sensitivity a little higher now than it was back in the day? I'm thinking of LeBron. I'm thinking of Kyrie Irving continually kicking fans out of the stands. Or are the fans and the media over the line in the way they treat the NBA? In my mind, it used to be a lot worse. So the fans used to be disgusting. Pre-Malice in the Palace, there was a lot of really much more even dangerous interactions. I think security is picked up since then. I know that fans can go over the line. There's no doubt about it. But back in the day, NBA players used to handle it differently. And I know media can go over the line too. But I wonder, is LeBron more sensitive than, say, Michael Jordan was 30 years ago? Nobody said anything bad about Jordan. He was probably super sensitive, too.
Yeah, I think people protected Jordan, too. Right. We didn't know much about maybe the dalliances in his personal life or things like that.
Well, it was just mean, nobody reports, quote-unquote, cheating. That is not a thing now, either.
No, and that's a whole other story.
But the gambling, I don't know.
Him, being in casinos until 4 o'clock in the morning before playoff games and stuff like that. I mean, it became part of Jordan's, legend and lore. If he was pulling off that kind of stuff today, we'd have 100 different camera videos of him sitting at a blackjack table all night, and he would probably get a ton more criticism.
I don't know. I wonder if there's the NBA players have figured out, and NFL players, other systems to gamble late at night. But regardless, my question is LeBron sensitive? Okay,
so here's where I think it's just different. You, back 70s, 80s, maybe even the 90s, you go to an arena, fans are screaming at you. You go to Philadelphia, they're cursing at you, double birds. It's a hard place to play. Boston, they're yelling even worse than that. The racial slurs and things like that.
Definitely.
It happens in a lot of places, and it's unfortunate. I think what's different about today is you also get it on social media. So it's it's not just in the arena now, and someone actually has the stones to say it to your face. Now it's all the anonymous. Now it's all the rumors. Now it's everything that has to do with social. And you can tell guys, hey, listen, don't look at it. But they're of this era. You can't have young guys who have grown up with social media. Like, think about Manny. Manny was born, Facebook was already, 5 years old, 7 years? You've never known a life without social media. It's easy for us to say because I remember the days of having a landline, and so do you.
Yeah, of course.
You got to imagine it's like your kids. You know, you're not going to raise someone to be Amish in this era, so you can't fault guys for looking at social media. Even if they know it could be bad for them, they're still going to look at it. So I think it's the combo. It's what you hear in the arena, and it's social media, and it probably feels like you never get a break.
I actually thought you were going in a different direction there, and those are great points. Players also have a voice that they never had before. You know, LeBron has every outlet he wants. They can have their own podcast. Sure. They can, I don't think in the middle of the season, Michael Jordan was sitting down for an hour interview on any show. Because Jordan's tough to interview. I think the players also are empowered in a way they weren't, which is a good thing. They don't have to take this crap sitting down.
Yeah.
But that being said, I do sometimes feel like LeBron thinks he has it bad. Oh my God, I can't imagine what he would have been like in the 80s. Jordan, I remember in the documentary, like Detroit felt dangerous for Jordan. Like they were going to take him down.
Yeah.
To me, it was rougher and rowdier way back in the day.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Are you sympathetic to LeBron?
Are you Team LeBron?
Call it now. One other interesting part about this is when he talked about his relationship with Michael Jordan. I thought this is a part where actually McAfee did a good job, where he asked about, what is the relationship with Michael Jordan? Manny, can I hear cut 13, please?
Yeah, we're in a good spot. We don't talk.
Why not, you think?
Because I'm still playing. I think I'm still playing. I'm still focused on my craft right now.
When you're done, you think you two will be the only two that can have a conversation?
I would hope so. The funny thing is, me and Kobe never had a real relationship either until we was on the Olympic team. We had a great relationship there. Olympic team 8, Olympic team 12. Until I became a Laker, and then he retired, that's when our relationship, became really, really good. So, I think it's because I'm still playing,
More from LeBron about Michael Jordan. While he's still active, he doesn't think there's going to be much there.
MJ's one of the most ruthless competitors there is. And till I'm done, and he doesn't have to look at me run up and down wearing the number 23, and every time my name is mentioned with his, he's like, I don't want to talk to you.
It became personal with me.
Yeah. Very self-aware. I think he nailed this one.
Yeah,
100%. Jordan I think they will have a relationship the moment that LeBron hangs up.
Yeah, Jordan's a psycho. I mean, he's competitive now. He hasn't worn a sneaker in 20 years.
Golf spikes only.
Michael, you can't do anything about this competition anymore. You're out of it. You might as well befriend him. What does Michael Jordan gain by not talking to him?
You didn't think that the whole 10-part documentary series was clearly a rebuke to LeBron?
It definitely was. But it's at a certain point, I mean, LeBron's 40-something. I think Jordan can maybe let it go a little bit. But then again, it's Michael Jordan. He will never let anything go.
No, but I do think when they retire, all of a sudden they're going to be, I don't know if tight is the word, but I think that he's no longer like a threat to Jordan, I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, I think LeBron has always been very generous about his praise for Michael Jordan.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's not like LeBron. This is
But he also said he's the GOAT. LeBron said he thinks that after that Cleveland title that solidified it for him. And that's long before we got to the compiling stats of the most minutes and the most points and the longevity aspect.
Okay, so you think that Jordan heard that and is willing to ignore all the praise for, I can see it.
Doesn't that sound a little like Jordan?
Definitely.
Say 100 nice things and say one maybe not nice thing, and that's the thing.
I took it personally.
Yeah. Nice game, Mike.
Well, yeah, in Michael Jordan fashion. Yeah, I took everything personally. I love, by the way, something about retired Kobe. He's everybody's best friend. It's amazing how many people were, and I do believe he was a mentor to many players, but it is crazy. Like LeBron is like, he basically texts me every day and say how awesome I am. I was like, okay, LeBron had it.
I believe it. I think these guys, it's like a switch at some point.
Okay.
I kind of get it. I believe that Kobe story. I know LeBron's been told a couple fibs in his day, but I actually do believe that Kobe thing. I think Kobe was generous when LeBron got to the Lakers.
Yeah.
You're not buying it.
I don't know.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Listen, we understand everyone's busy with their own lives. you got things going on. You know, sit down and listen to an hour of LeBron James talking about yada yada.
LeBron is one of us in the sense that he kind of tells tales. Like he's sitting around, I don't know. The last night, again, I was watching the interview, and he acted like he was retired and looking back on his career. He's just so relaxed. It struck me as whatever, I almost feel like anything he does from his career at this point out is gravy. I think he understands who he is. That's sort of my take. I'm like, wow, this guy is so confident.
Yep.
Does not have any issues with anybody. It was not apologizing for the Stephen A thing. He is just fully who he is.
I just wonder,
you don't want to make an enemy out of me.
Is there anything that LeBron can do now to make people like him or dislike him? Like, if you're set in your ways about LeBron, if you don't like that he dabbled in politics, or you don't like that he, didn't have a good answer for the whole China thing back in the day, or whatever it is, is there anything he can do to get you back? Because I doubt it's interviews like this.
No. It's definitely not doing a podcast with Steve Nash. An X's and O's podcast. No, people are, if you've decided on LeBron, you've decided on LeBron.
Yeah, it's funny. Either he comes across as charming, charismatic, or insufferable.
I got 4 or 5 texts saying, oh my God, he is such a jerk for what he just said about Brian Windhorst.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
So and I think that you've made, you're either team LeBron or you just don't like the guy.
I just wonder now, are you set in your ways? Like 888-710-4ISN. This dude's been literally a part of our lives for, I would say, 22 years, but it's been longer than that. 22 years in the NBA.
Right. There was the
St. Vincent, St. Mary's games. Like Bill Walton was calling those games.
Yep.
I mean, he's been famous for so long.
And I want my damn respect, too.
According to your math, he's been famous 5 more years than Manny's been alive.
Is that wild? Manny has not known a world without LeBron James being famous.
I mean, Manny, you were born when Facebook came out, right? That was 2000.
I had a MySpace page, so do what you wish with that information.
Oh, that's an upset. I would have thought MySpace had come and gone by
I
the
didn't
time.
even have a MySpace page.
Were you a fetus having a MySpace page?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Were you 5?
More or less, maybe 7 years old. Had Daddy Yankee as my my music when you got onto my profile.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Was that Gasolina?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Facebook formed, by the way, 20 years ago. Manny is not 20 years old.
I am 27 years old.
Yeah.
I know, but do kids have Facebook pages at 7?
No, but you said you weren't even born when Facebook came out. I'm like, we make Manny younger every day. Like,
please make me younger.
Do you remember you weren't born when LeBron went to the Heat in the first time around?
You should have been there, Manny. It was crazy.
The decision was crazy.
888-710-4ISN.
LeBron, you mean Kyrie Irving's teammate?
Yeah.
Everyone thought he was going to your Knicks, and it didn't happen.
888-710-4476. LeBron James, your thoughts. Are you team LeBron or not? Let us know. We've got a lot to do. Hey, happy opening day, everyone. For real this time. Happy Sweet 16, everyone.
Opening day, free agency is today in the NFL?
Yeah.
What?
Major League Baseball. We're going to talk about it.
No, that can't be right.
MVP.
I am having a very bad day.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Manny, what was that music fact you were just dropping? This is the top song of the week that LeBron came into the NBA?
Yeah, the week he debuted Baby Boy by Beyonce at the top of the charts.
Wow.
2003 or 4? Which year?
2003, yeah.
2003.
Two heavy hitters, LeBron, Beyonce, been in our lives for a long, long time.
And they're on the same run, basically.
Still making hits.
They're still trudging along.
Well, trudging. I think they're still
steamrolling,
dominating, I guess.
I'm not getting into the Beyonce thing.
More on Beyonce than Bronny.
Yeah. I'll do a tour that's going to
Is this
and Levi's.
mega numbers again.
And Levi's.
Is the Luka LeBron Lakers the country album version of LeBron's career?
I don't know, but man, I'd buy a million pairs of Levi's if I could actually look like that in those jeans. But
there's a billboard of Beyonce in those Levi jeans not too far from our studios. It's,
she's done more for Levi's than Levi Strauss himself. 888-710-4ISN. We're asking you about LeBron. Is there anything you can do at this point that would change your mind about him? It's the big sit down yesterday with Pat McAfee show. And, you know, either it's funny, it's a Rorschach test. Either you listened to some of this and you thought, man, LeBron, like so comfortable, as you said, so comfortable in the spotlight,
yeah, I mean,
has avoided major scandal despite being basically a child star and been in the spotlight for so long. I mean, not like the type of scandals where guys really go up in flames. avoided all of that, is still really good at what he does, cares about what he does, seems like a good parent, all of that stuff, or you watch it and you're like, this insufferable fool. I mean, still, again, like we get it enough with the brand and the, there's, I think, two ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if avoiding a scandal is what we're talking about. Like, he hasn't been arrested. That's the bar. I think
kind of. Not the bar, but, pretty amazing, to be honest.
To me, he's really, really leaning into Steph Curry petty king lane right now, which is because Steph Curry's the same way. Great parent, never has scandal, but a lot of people
not nearly the pressure though that LeBron had coming into the league.
Right, but we're fine. But people call him the petty king. It struck me as LeBron, like all of us, has like normal resentments. Like to be honest, I think LeBron should be above this whole Stephen A. controversy. Like, what does he care what somebody says on ESPN? Stephen A's trying to fill the A block. LeBron knows that he's going to be doing the same thing in 3 years.
I'm the petty king.
Yeah. LeBron knows obviously, as he said, he knows the game. I'm surprised he took that so personally when the entire media industry was making fun of Bronny. He just picked out Stephen A, feeding right into Stephen A's ballgame.
Yeah, I said nothing offensive about him.
Let's go to the phone. Stephen is in Birmingham, Alabama. Stephen, are you team LeBron?
Not really. But I mean, I'm 50 and grew up with, the Celtics and Lakers and the bad boys. And, you take LeBron and drop him in Detroit for a weekend, and you have Lambeer and Sally and Rodman. And then the whole rivalry with, L.A. and the Celtics. You've got Parrish and Bird. Just, Larry would just tell you where he was going to go and make the shot, and he didn't care either. So,
So, Stephen, you really don't think LeBron would have been good in the 80s?
He might have been, but,
okay.
I mean, basketball has changed so much since then, too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's part of life. I mean, things change, but I think that, it was more pure back in the 80s, that, you would let them play if, how many Celtics, Lakers series went Game 7 and, the Lakers had to win it in the Garden, or they had to go to
Stephen, listen,
LA and win it.
I get what you're saying. I think there's a nostalgia for the old time basketball for sure. To call it more pure because you could armbar guys, I don't necessarily agree with you on that one. Here's LeBron himself disagreeing with the notion that he couldn't play in some of the older eras of the NBA.
I would be able to play in any era. It's funny you hear some of them older guys like LeBron James couldn't play in this era.
Never been fouled by Bill Lambier before. Nope.
Yeah. I think I seen like Dennis Rodman say that one time. It was like, LeBron James, not skilled enough. Not big enough. He's not, doesn't weigh enough. He's not strong enough.
Can't handle it.
I'm like, okay.
See, I understand making that argument maybe for Steph Curry or something like that. Maybe. LeBron not being able to play in other eras, I do not understand that. 6'9", plays at 240? He is big enough.
Like
he is strong enough, and he is skilled enough. So I never get that argument with LeBron. Maybe it was some of the smaller guys or just pure skill guys. I don't know.
But we've never seen him actually mix it up. We've never seen him get strangled and then throw a punch at Bill Lambier. I think he would have to be a different player. He would be. I think the point LeBron would probably agree with this. I might have had to fight a little more back then, which we haven't. I just think we haven't seen it. Of course, if he came up in the '80s, he would have had a totally different style.
But is that like a negative on him? Like I don't see that as like that's like a black mark. It's like you never got into a all-out brawl on a basketball court.
No, I do think I'll represent the old school here. It is a little bit easier for LeBron because you're not allowed to just tackle him like you used to. And I know he's huge, but it would have been annoying to LeBron to have to deal with Bill Lambier. I think he would be a different player. I think he would have fought back more. He definitely would have won titles, no doubt. I mean, he's 6'9", 240 and runs a 4.5 40. Like
too small.
Even guys back then couldn't handle that. And also, it was less three-point shooting, which is not LeBron's forte. He would have been in good shape there.
Jay's our pal in Nashville. Jay, what do you think? Are you team LeBron?
Nah, it ain't even got to do with all that, whether I'm team LeBron or not. It was a good interview. I'm kind of like, I'm officially like, I've never listened to McAfee's podcast, but I think I'm converted to the Machiavellian Temple of Christ or whatever now. Cause, it was only McAfee can make somebody so polished be so candid. I ain't even ever heard LeBron curse before.
My dog.
And like what LeBron was saying about like how everybody look. I'm 51. I just turned 51 last week, and you know what I mean. I'm not dumb enough to let my nostalgia make me just talk delusional.
Right.
And he's right. He's like you were saying about Giannis. If Giannis is playing back in Bird in his day, he'd be a monster out there.
Yeah, it'd be nuts. They wouldn't even know what to do with him. They wouldn't know what to do with him. They wouldn't know what to do with a dude like that. You're right, Maggie.
No. Dude, they're enforcers all over the league. Rick Mahorn would have given him 15 elbows a game. They know exactly what to do with him.
Giannis is fast enough to blow by him.
Oh, you're crazy.
Skilled enough to pull up. Can dunk from beyond the free throw line. Like, good luck.
Oh, God. No.
Giannis,
do you ever see the Jordan? They took Jordan. They hit Jordan every single play.
Yeah, and they'd foul out in 5 minutes.
No, they didn't. They didn't foul out at all. They would just give him I'm not saying it would work, but they would hit Giannis so many times in a game, Giannis would have to adjust and play differently. Now Giannis just flies up and down the lane like no one. I mean, you can't play defense like you used to. They call that.
Can I finish my last point, please?
Please.
Okay, first of all, I mean, Giannis would have been Euro-stepping him all day. But anyway, and he'd been banking threes on him, and they wouldn't know what to do with that. But let me finish this point. As far as the Stephen A. thing, and the Perloff, I hear you talking about the media, protecting the media and stuff like that. But I've been saying it this whole time, just like LeBron was saying. If the media right now has got a silver tongue, and just because they got a media cloak to hide behind right now. And it's the reason why I rock with you and Maggie. You know what I mean? Because you guys don't get out of bounds and talk disrespectful and hide behind that cloak of we're the media. You guys are still respectful, even in your criticism. Now, what LeBron was saying about Mad Max, you know what I mean? Or Charles Oakley. Stephen A. would have got his ass whooped a long time ago if it had been back in the day, since we want to go nostalgic. And
yeah,
I mean,
Jay,
honestly, LeBron.
Here's the thing, though. People want to pretend like the media and stars had no friction back then. They definitely did. They definitely did.
Remember Deion Sanders dumping a whole jug on that one reporter after that World? I think it was World Series.
Tim McCarver.
You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that these days. They'd be like, "Oh my God, he dumped the Gatorade on a reporter." Oh, the travesty. You know what I mean? And
Jay, you had players on the Mets who filled water guns full of bleach and was spraying it at reporters. Bogues, who was that?
Exactly.
It was. You don't remember
this? You got me.
Wow, that sounds
like a crime.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
It was.
What if you got a guy in the eye?
Yeah, to me, that's a little bit too far right there. But
I said nothing offensive about him.
Oh, yeah, but really, to me, LeBron, really, he made, not only Stephen A., he made Stephen A. look like a complete twerp. And that's like the perfect four-letter word for him right now. And all the TikTok is going in on him. And Stephen A. will probably hear this, and he'll jump there. Well, the soliloquy of the sensitivity and the negativity of it, like,
I am having a very bad day.
Wait, Jay, you're the best. We got to get to Bogus's update, but point made.
All right, y'all.
Totally.
Love you guys.
Okay, love you too. See ya.
Love you too.
Love you too. I feel like sometimes I say that when I'm getting off the phone with people who I don't mean to say it to. Yeah. Does that ever happen to you? Yeah. Brett Saberhagen, 1993, admitted July 27th.
93?
Yeah, I know, man. He was
That's
a long
little
time.
Too recent.
Bleach spraying incident in the Shea Stadium clubhouse. There's been friction between reporters and players forever. I don't think it's any worse now.
It's definitely better.
But isn't that LeBron's point, though? That, if you did talk crazy or do anything, that these guys were crazy enough to actually do something? That's his point.
Right, but Right. Yeah, yes, and that you would have to, suffer the consequence of it. I don't think that but it obviously didn't, it's not going to deter certain parts of the media from
that part is fair.
Getting personal, right? It's just something that the players had to deal with then, and they still deal with it now. Also, the media world has expanded a lot, right? I think that the players themselves have to be a little more discerning on what's media and what's just social media. A fan putting stuff out there is not the same as the beat reporter for The Athletic or what have you.
So. Oh, absolutely. Can I just go back one thing and defend the 80s guys? In 1988, the year of the Bad Boys, they played Karl Malone, Akeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and Charles Barkley in their prime. You don't think those guys are comparable to Giannis? You don't think David Robinson?
Those guys also were superstars in the 80s.
Right. I'm saying Giannis, of course he would have been superstar, but I think did LeBron say he scored 200 points a game or something?
That was the 70s. That's a little different.
Yeah, he said the 70s. He scored 200 points a game.
Oh, okay.
Which may be true. I don't know. Well, 270 is a lot, but he'd be really good.
They kept coming back to Kuzi, who was actually more in the 60s.
Yeah, 50s.
50s
even. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I thought they were going after my 80s guys.
No one has clue when any basketball players played. He said 70s. Pat McAfee said, yeah, Bob Cousy, right? I'm
but
like,
then
no.
he brought up Vern Maxwell and Rodman, who were very much
That's
80s, 90s.
Yeah, it was all over the
Plumber's
place.
environment.
Yeah. It's just anything that happened before the year 2000.
Bob Cousy, they didn't even invent dribbling with your left hand when Bob Cousy was playing.
That is
I was waiting
correct.
for George Micah to be mentioned. I didn't know what was going to happen.
And Jay said Eurostep. If they had done a Eurostep in 1978, people would have think he was an alien dropped in from outer space. They would not have known what that was.
They would have called it travel every time just because they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, they would have been like, what was that?
Though my dad always says the guy who actually really invented the Eurostep was Bernard King. Bernard King used to Eurostep all the time.
Oh, really? Because Manu Ginobili kind of gets credit for it.
I know, but watch a lot of old Knicks games. That was one of
Is
his
that
big moves.
is that who gets credit? It's a more Manu. There wasn't a Euro. He's the first Europe. Well, he was not Europe, but
played in Europe, but yeah.
Yeah, he's Argentinian, but I think he's the one who gets credit for the Eurostep. I always thought so.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
Harden kind of took it to a new level. Bogish. Hello.
Hello, guys. Your headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. After all that talking, LeBron did some winning last night in Indiana.
Lakers down by 1. 5 seconds. Lucas got it. 3 seconds. Teardrop. It's no good. Tipped in by LeBron at the buzzer. LeBron tipped it in at the buzzer, and I think it's going to count. They'll review it, but LeBron may have just saved the day for the Lakers.
John Ireland on Lakers radio. LeBron only scored 13, but those last two snapped LA's 3-game slide, 120-119 over the Pacers. Luka threw in 34 points, 7 assists. The win gets LA even with Memphis for 4th in the West. Also of note from this game is this, courtesy of Spectrum Sportsnet.
Take a look at Austin's shoes. Now, this is a gender reveal for Austin's brother, Spencer, and wife, Casey, okay? You can tell they are pink. Austin is an uncle-to-be. I'm not sure if his brother actually knew he was playing professional basketball in Germany, but this is how they were going to find out. So I want to say congratulations on the gender reveal for Uncle Austin here for his family, Spencer and his wife, Casey.
My assumption is the brother knew that Austin Reeves was going to wear the pink or was going to wear some colored sneakers last night. I don't think he surprised them with a gender reveal. So wherever he was in Germany, I'm sure he was aware of Lakers Pacers and was looking for what was on his brother's feet.
I got to be honest. I'm just so happy that this didn't involve some kind of firework, some kind of fire getting started. These gender reveals have gotten so out of control. They're like a health hazard at this point.
Yeah, I do like, and the other thing too, everyone's wearing pink shoes. So are these all gender reveals going on around the NBA?
That would explain a lot.
At least only Austin Reeves was last night.
Remember when Jalen Brunson got hurt and Maggie comes in and goes, wow, those are awfully pink flowery shoes he was wearing.
I just said it looked a little, it was like, I noticed the visual. And it's like these happy looking shoes and then the grimacing look on his face. It was like, it was a weird juxtaposition.
I think there's many gender, every night you can see a gender reveal in the NBA, I guess.
Back to the adults playing basketball. The Celtics extended their win streak to 7 last night, 132-102 in Phoenix, 30 points for Kristaps Porzingis. The Bucks didn't have Damian Lillard or Giannis. They lose in Denver, 127-117. And the Sixers lost quickly to the Wizards last night, down 45-29 after one. It was a 119-114 final. And his name came up on the show last week. One-time March Madness darling Ali Faroukmanesh just got a promotion to head coach at Colorado State, replacing Nico Medved, who took the Minnesota gig.
I was actually thinking, is my phone listening to our conversations that Ali Faroukmanesh has come up after? We brought him up last week.
Yep.
Except that you called him Ali Farouk Manouk.
I did call him Ali Farouk Manouk, but I was doing it right off the top of my head. I couldn't remember exactly what his name was. Yeah. I know it now.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm really psyched about this guy because that's a seminal moment, that shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that and Bryce Drew, the two guys. Sure. I guess you hit a game winner, you get to coach.
Eventually, yeah. Like 10 years later.
Derek Queen will coach.
I might get Chris Jenkins' job.
Yeah, right. Where is Chris?
Probably an assistant coach. He's probably going to get hired next week.
Well, that Nova job's open. Oh,
no.
It's still open, right?
Yeah,
it is.
I think Willer's just waiting for it. He's
Yeah,
like, can
is
we
that an
lose?
upgrade?
Can we lose anytime soon here so I can just go to Villanova?
Is Villanova an upgrade over Maryland?
But
you don't have to compete with the football program for money, I
He
guess?
seems to think that Maryland are a bunch of dunces that have no money and don't know what the hell they're doing. At least it seems like every time he opens his mouth.
He is embattled. I've been following. I don't understand this Kevin Willard-Loxley war there. I will take him in Villanova. We couldn't even get Will.
I know. Any college in the state of Pennsylvania, Perloff gets to
Villanova
gets to claim.
Come on, that's mine.
By the way, according to the always trusty Wikipedia, Chris Jenkins is a student athlete development assistant at Villanova. So he's already on campus.
I mean, they owe him a lifetime job.
Yeah, the next coach is going to have to keep him on staff.
Totally. That's just, it's got to be, this is the guy you pay for the no-show job and have him just shake some hands and kiss some babies.
Yeah, he's a
do
feel-good
some gender
guy.
reveals.
By the way, and you laughing at that Sixers loss? That was key. The Wizards were major competition in the tankathon. Yeah. This was great. Me and my friends were all high-fiving last night, all night long. They were terrified they were going to beat Washington.
Hey, clap your hands.
Play the song.
Play it for a loss.
Oh, in a big, big way. That would be great. Clap your hands.
You're lucky this song's such a banger.
Dr.
888-710-4ISN. Asking you the question, could LeBron have played in any era? You let us know. 888-710-4476. He said he could. We've got plenty of football for you, and we get back to the LeBron stuff in a moment.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We're talking about LeBron James. Gave a big sit-down interview to Pat McAfee that aired yesterday, and he claims that he could play in any era. And implying that he'd be this good in any era. 80s, 90s, doesn't matter. Let's go to Bill Pearl, who's in Houston. Bill, do you think that's right?
I absolutely think that's right. Has there ever been a player that 6'8", 265 or 270 that is that athletic where I told your screener he's like Wes Unseld, but he can play almost like Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. So his athleticism would transcend any era. I generally hate the generational arguments because in 40 years things have changed so much in every sport. I mean, defensive linemen went 260, 270 in 1984, and look at them now.
Yep.
So that's my opinion. The other thing with his son, since LeBron has lived his life in the spotlight and he has he's not used the media, but he has worked with the media to make his brand, then when your son is out of college or out of high school, it's like my dad told me a long time ago, you're on your own, son. And I don't think he needs to be involved in media criticism or anything else. He should have taught his son to be able to react to stuff like that the right way and leave it at that.
Yeah. Bill, it's a great point. And to be fair to Bronny, and thank you for calling, I think Bronny does take it pretty much in stride. You know, he did an interview recently. He goes, yeah, I hear it. I'm a human being. It fuels me. It gives me more motivation. Actually, thought Bronny had a better response to it than LeBron did. You know, LeBron confronting Stephen A. like in a game is definitely going to get a ton of attention. I think it was Papa Bear, just kind of that the dad part kind of overwhelmed him. And in some ways, as a parent, you understand it. But LeBron definitely fueled this thing and made it worse.
So how come when I came into this whole situation and said, this is going to be cool, like the Griffies, like I even said I might get emotional during the first game. That didn't happen at all for some reason. And you all laughed at me.
We did.
So now LeBron's allowed to be the protective dad. But when I brought this up as an emotional, sentimental thing, I was scoffed at.
Yeah.
Scoffed.
Guffawed. Yeah, we definitely scoffed at you.
I don't see the connection.
No. My point is, like, now, not that you exactly do it, but you say, I can understand him being a dad. Right. Well, how come coming into this, when he forced the Bronny situation, we didn't all understand that as being a dad?
So I guess here's a little bit of a difference. I didn't love the Griffies because I don't think that comparing Bronny to Ken Griffey Jr., that is not right. Ken Griffey Jr. was the number one pick in that draft, generational talent, came into the league and was awesome. Bronny was cut the line. You know, Bronny needed all the help in the world. So I didn't love that because it's not same. It's not.
Well, regardless. So I think you're right. You thought that LeBron forced this situation. We all did.
Yeah. The other part is, I think where Stephen A. did cross a line and got in trouble is when he said brought up Bronny's like stats and stuff and said, you're embarrassing your son and you have to stop it.
I said nothing offensive about him.
Well, like minds can disagree.
I think thematically what Stephen A was saying is not unique. I think it's in the same ballpark as what a lot of media people said.
That's fine, but he's like, I'm pleading with you as a father. Like, we're all, it's
everybody. When Bronny went out and struggled, everybody said this is not working. Get him out of there. Everybody said that.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I think it was the way that Stephen A said it. I do.
I don't know. I feel like if LeBron was really paying attention, a lot of people have said a lot of things about this situation. And I don't know why he went out. I thought it was a mistake to, don't give it Stephen A that kind of oxygen.
Brad's in Oregon. Brad, only got a couple seconds here, but do you think LeBron could have played in the 80s?
No. I'm glad you're feeling better and you're back. But, Perloff, I think you're 1,000% right. Back then with Willis Reed and Lanier and those guys, when you drove the key, they hit you. That was their area. You tried to post up, they leaned on you. You're a smaller man against the bigger guys, and they just kept hitting you. And to take off and want to try to drive the basket, no, I don't think it would have worked out. And I think that the centers nowadays, they go outside to guard the other centers to open it up for them. I don't think it would have fit in there.
Brad, thank you for making the point succinctly, too. Brad, getting in under the network break.
I know. Pro Brad. I love it.
Our callers are the best. Could LeBron had played in the 80s and the 90s? Let us know.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
How much more can we shove into this day? Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. It's MLB's opening day in earnest today, stateside. It's the Sweet 16 tonight, guys. LeBron James sits down for a candid interview with Pat McAfee that lasts over an hour, and we have not even talked about my favorite part from the interview, when LeBron James confirms that he's a conspiracy theorist, sports conspiracy theorist, sports, just like me. So we'll get to that in a moment, Pearl. But we also got this out of nowhere crazy rumor involving the Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
Oh, come on. We're going to give this life. Explain it.
Okay. So I'll let Bruce Dredden explain it.
Here we go.
Bruce Dredden.
I'll let Bruce explain.
I'm going to let Bruce explain this. Bruce is a veteran sports talker and journalist.
He also did Cleveland baseball games, too.
Okay, so veteran sports guy. Okay,
just a bit outside.
Yeah,
that guy.
My explanation just a bit outside there. Bruce has been around for a long time. Here's what he came up with yesterday on his show.
That part of the reason Myles Garrett was so willing to sign this extension for contract, money. The Browns are negotiating as we speak with the Dallas Cowboys for a trade for Dak Prescott.
Just a bit outside.
Whoa. I mean, that's a pretty big one. That's a big meatball to put out there, Bruce, that Myles Garrett didn't just re-sign with Cleveland after demanding two different trades 2 different times, but did it for the money and also did it because he knows the team's in active negotiations to get Dak Prescott. So here's the thing, Pearl. Every single Dallas beat reporter has thrown tons of cold water on this. It does feel like it's really out of left field. However, can I just mention one thing to you? Mm-hmm. The betting market right now for the NFL draft is Abdul Carter as the odds-on favorite to go second overall to the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
It's minus money. How are the Browns potentially being this cavalier about who's going to play quarterback for them? Deshaun Watson is gone. He's recovering from an Achilles tear. Mm-hmm. They signed Kenny Pickett or traded for him. They've got no one else. Who's going to be the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? Yet Abdul Carter is the odds-on favorite for them to land a quarterback when they're picking second overall. So it makes me think that the Browns have something up their sleeve to get a quarterback that we're not talking about yet. Is it Dak Prescott? I have no idea. Bruce said so. I don't know. But it's something. I think the Browns have some kind of plan to get a quarterback that does not involve the draft, obviously.
But how, I'm not a salary cap expert. I'm not Joel Corey of CBS Sports. how could one team have the two most expensive quarterbacks in the game on their salary cap? How could you have $60 million for Dak and $50-something million for Deshaun? How could that rumor start unless Bruce explains the cap situation?
Okay, so I can't tell. I'm not a capologist either. I can just tell you a couple things. Denver had to eat a chunk of Russell Wilson's salary when he got traded to Pittsburgh.
And they couldn't sign anybody, and they had to go with a rookie quarterback.
Okay, well, maybe Dallas is setting up for Arch Manning. I don't know what's going on, but I think there's always a way to make the money work, and maybe Deshaun Watson is going to get some kind of injury. Maybe they get injury relief off the contract. I have no idea. I don't want to bore everybody with details when I don't know.
First of all, that's why the Dallas Cowboy reporters could easily dunk on this because there's no explanation for it's an impossible trade. Also, Dak has a no trade clause and he's not taking that. Right. So it seems like a no brainer. But I think we need to even put that rumor aside because people I trust, Jane Slater, for example, have quashed it. What did that trade rumor say to you, though, about get back to this Browns thing? So do you think that they're actively shopping and maybe this guy got the wrong signal?
Yeah, I do. I think that the Browns are definitely making calls. And why wouldn't they just take Shedeur, even just for the palate cleanser of the whole thing? Even if you don't think that Shedeur is going to be like this incredible quarterback, well, Kevin Stefanski had some of his best successful seasons with your guy, Case Keenum, and Kirk Cousins. I mean, can Shedeur be Case Keenum? We love Case. Yes, he can be Case, and he actually profiles a lot like Case.
Yeah, Todd McShay has been on a world tour saying that Kevin Stefanski's the king of under-athletic quarterbacks. I feel like everyone's ripping Shedeur's athleticism a little too much. He compares him to Kirk Cousins, but I get the comparison. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski could work with Shedeur, but the Browns have, all draft season, nobody's been linking Shedeur to the Browns. Everyone's been saying that they want to go a different direction.
Exactly. So what is that direction? Because somebody has to play quarterback, and all of the guys in Cleveland are on the hot seat.
What if they're interested in trading back in the first round for one of the second-tier quarterback prospects?
Okay, that's fine, but that's leaving a lot up to chance because you don't know what New Orleans is doing, and you don't know what the Jets are doing, and you don't know what a lot of teams are doing who need quarterbacks. So, or might be in the mood for or in the market for a quarterback. So, okay, here's where I'm going with all this. There's a rumor yesterday again that the Cleveland Browns are negotiating to try to get Dak Prescott. Everyone in Dallas threw cold water on it. It feels like it'd be really hard to pull off. But are the Browns looking around at other situations in the NFL and thinking, who might not be in love with their quarterback right now? Who could be available?
Right.
And I'll tell you where my eyes landed on. Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. Jordan Schultz came out yesterday, NFL Insider, and said, while contract negotiations are going on, there's nothing imminent, and we're not even sure if we're getting this before the draft. Again, another 49ers contract negotiation that's going to linger. These guys don't learn their lesson. It caused a major shadow over last year's offseason. They did it with Nick Bosa. They did it with Deebo Samuel years ago. They did it with Trent Williams, for goodness sakes. I mean, a guy who's probably more important to your franchise than anybody, and they're going to do it with Brock Purdy. And I think part of the reason is because they think they can win without Brock. So are the Browns maybe thinking, all right, maybe we get Brock Purdy. Maybe Kevin Stefanski sees Brock Purdy as his next Kirk Cousins, Case Keenum. Brock also profiles like this, right? Where Stefanski could be in love with this dude. So, again, I don't know if the Dak rumor is true. This is one guy in Cleveland who came up with this. But the idea that the Browns are shopping around for quarterbacks who are starters right now on other teams absolutely makes sense to me.
I have no idea what you're talking about. And I want to distance myself from this take in the sense that Jordan Schultz said that they're actively negotiating a deal, and it seems like they're honing in on a number between 50 and 55. I read that Jordan Schultz story. He's saying, hey, we're well down the road here. And every single indication, the Niners gutted their entire salary cap to make room for Brock Purdy. It feels like, unlike last offseason and the offseason before that, they're making gigantic strides. So every single sign says the Niners are going to pay Brock Purdy $53 million a year. And Brock's a millionaire. Okay. I'm so surprised to hear that. And I don't think, why would the Browns want to bring in, they just overpaid for Deshaun Watson. Why would they want to bring in a guy who's on the brink of a huge contract?
Because I think Stefanski could see elements of Brock Purdy where he says, I can win with this guy. And if you don't love Shedeur, and if Deshaun Watson is gone, Brock's still very young. And they might see him and say, this is a great option. I think that the 49ers had like a little bit of a reckoning this offseason, or a little bit of soul searching. And they did an article in The Athletic recently, and about Kyle Shanahan was saying, I got too emotional with the Brandon Ayuk contract. I got too emotional. I ran up to John Lynch's office and said, we had to sign this guy. And he's like, I'm taking the emotion out of it. That's the new ethos of the 49ers. Zero emotion. So I think that Kyle Shanahan is thinking, all right, let's just put quarterback A versus quarterback B, and not Brock Purdy, who saved everybody's behind after the Trey Lance debacle, and just put him as just a dude on paper. I think they look at Mac Jones and say, we can turn Mac Jones into the next Brock Purdy. They loved Mac Jones in the draft process years ago, and keeping the quarterback cheap allows you to build your team in other ways, and that's been successful for the 49ers. So I think you say that like all signs point to Brock Purdy getting a contract, and yeah, except for the fact that he doesn't have one yet.
Well, yeah, but it's March. I read that Jordan Schultz report as a bat signal from Team Brock and the Niners that this is well on its way. I listen, your logic makes sense, but I don't know. Why would the Niners do everything they've done this offseason and not plan? Why do they keep saying we love Brock Purdy? And why does Brock Purdy, his camp, keep playing ball too? It feels like they're working. I think they're actually way ahead of where they were with Nick Bosa, way ahead of where they were with Brandon Ayuk. The report said that they might not get it done before the draft. We're talking about August 30th. I mean, yeah. So who cares if they don't get it done by April 27th?
Well, I think that I don't think you want these things dragging out, and maybe the 49ers don't care. You thought they should play hardball with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think they have a ton of, and actually it turns out they do have a little bit of leverage because Jordan reported they're not doing the $60 million deal for Brock. Brock will come in about 5th or 6th among quarterbacks, which does feel like they know the rest of the league is not eager to pay $60 million for Brock Purdy. I don't think teams are high on paying anyone $60 million right now. So they're coming in, as I said, closer to $50 million. So I think you get a deal done. Brock has no money in his bank account, Maggie. He's got to take the deal.
You know that? Why? Because rent's so high in San Francisco?
He was a 7th-round pick. He has not made money. He didn't even get that $31 million first-round contract.
Yeah.
So even for an NFL guy, I just think that Purdy and the team just seem to be on the same page. And I think all the smoke signals, John Lynch has said 3 times this offseason, I love Brock Purdy.
Yeah, well,
not I'm going to trade.
Too.
Do you think John Lynch is just making this up and he's really negotiating behind the scenes? Does that sound like John Lynch?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh, Mr. Machiavelli. He's not Red Auerbach. He's the nicest GM in the league.
Well,
he's never made a move like that before.
I just don't think that you would telegraph in the media. Of course you're going to say you love Brock. I'm just saying that this combination of reports, the rumor coming out of Cleveland that they're negotiating for Dak Prescott, I think there's something here where Cleveland, who's also the odds-on favorite to take Abdul Carter, the pass rusher, not a quarterback, in a team that desperately needs a quarterback, and one where Shedeur Sanders actually profiles like a lot of the guys that Kevin Stefanski has had tons of success with, and yet nobody thinks Shedeur's going to the Browns.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Except for Todd McShay, I guess.
I wouldn't say that either. There's some smoke there that there's a Deion factor. Will Deion let them go to the Browns? That's also in the air.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if the Browns are shopping around. And when you look at the NFL and you look at the starting quarterbacks who may be in dicey situations, Brock Purdy's at the top of the list. He can't beat Tua. He can't play in the cold weather. I don't know where else you would look.
It would shock me.
But it's got to be, I think Purdy is the natural target here.
And then I just don't understand Cleveland then, because my understanding is that they have no cap space forever because of the Deshaun Watson deal. They have to go cheap for the rest of the time. Like Tua gets $52 million a year. And you're saying that Brock Purdy would go there and play for nothing? Why would he do that?
No, I think there's, listen, I never have seen before contracts hold anything up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially these quarterback contracts. Like, I think there's just a way to move the money around. I do.
I don't. I don't think Cleveland can bring in any veterans. I think they have to draft a guy. I'll bet you they go with Tyler Shuck in the 2nd round or Jalen Milroe or somebody, and they go with a Pickett. They add another veteran. And I'd be beyond shocked if they added an expensive veteran quarterback.
I'd love to hear from the 49er fans at 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. 49er fans, Cleveland fans, What's going on here? Because your team should be laser focused on a quarterback. You got the Myles Garrett thing done. It's done. You need a QB. Deshaun's gone. You're never going to see him in a Browns uniform ever again. I don't know. I think I'm making a lot of sense right now.
I mean, is there a chance they're executing the plan with what the Giants were going to do, which is simply tank for Arch? Like
who, the Cleveland?
Yeah.
It depends how comfortable everyone is there, because in New York, they're not comfortable. Those guys are going to get fired if they have a tank season, I think. I think the guys in Cleveland are on the hot seat.
I would think so, too. But if the owner is telling you, hey, like, I want Arch Manning, what are you going to do? You can't. He's not going to sign off on deals that are going to be win-now moves.
I wouldn't trust that Arch is coming to Cleveland. I'd trust Shador coming to Cleveland and Deion signing off on that less than the Mannings get involved. We saw it with Eli.
That's true.
You know, Peyton did not go to the Jets famously, went back to Tennessee to avoid the Jets. Eli manipulated his way from San Diego to New York. I wouldn't mess with the Mannings. They're like NFL mafia.
I have a hot take.
They are going where they want to go.
Can I counter your hot take with a little hot take on Arch Manning in this whole situation and save it for the next take? Because I'm going to go a little against the grain on what you guys are saying about Arch.
You want to save it for after the commercial?
Yes, I want to save it because...
You against the grain today? Because there's another one scheduled today, too.
I say It's Thursday. We got opening day. Let's double up, baby, because I love your hot take on Brock Purdy. I think it's salary cap impossible. Joe Corey is turning over in his grave. He's still alive, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
we love Joel.
Joel. But like, and he's the capologist and the bracketologist are both saying, Maggie, you cannot make the numbers work. But Maggie's like, math is made up in the NFL.
This is my NFL girl math. I'm like, Brock Purdy, just make it happen.
I think this idea, one of the most overrated storylines of the entire draft season is wait for Arch. That's all I will say.
All right,
Bring it back.
Hold on. Daniel's in Pennsylvania. Daniel, we got a Dak Prescott to Cleveland rumor. What do you make of it?
I think it's awesome. I'm picturing him and Aaron Rodgers in the AFC North. It would be great, even if it's Brock Purdy, too.
You love it.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Because you think they're going to fail, or you think they're going to be successful?
I just think it would make things a lot more. I mean, I'm a Ravens fan, so I think it would make things a lot more interesting for me, let alone the AFC North in general.
Daniel, you love this as a Ravens fan because you know.
Yeah, it'd be great.
You know that neither of these guys is going to pose a real threat. Thank you for the phone call. Who, Aaron Rodgers sitting duck back there, or Dak Prescott coming off a hamstring, or I don't even remember what's Dak's injury.
I don't know. Flacco threw for 400 yards a game. Flacco threw for 400 yards there in Cleveland. That AFC North is a crazy division. You never know what's going to happen.
Flacco. All right, Perloff, first of two against the grains in the show today, comes your way next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Believe Bilatti's got something to say. Infinity's mice. He's feeling the dismay. No NBA on NBC. What a shame. Just JJ Redick's wine ain't the same. Peter Bellotti is getting upset. Maggie Perloff, can you hear his plea? Bring back the NBA on NBC. Set his spirit free. He misses Mar. Co-stars and the crew, those were the days. Pete cries out, boo, boo. Bring it back, or can't you see? Bring back the NBA on NBC. Let it be. Pete's mad, he's feeling sad. Bring it back, oh, make it right. Oh, gosh, weeps. Living life in 20 seconds. Pine Needles wakes up at dawn. Coffee brewing, screen turned on. He's got a favorite show to see. The Maggie and Perloff Symphony. Oh, Pine Needles are tuned in tight to Infinity Sports Radio every night. Maggie and Perloff, your daily delight. In their words, you find your life.
Well, drunk as Sam stumbled
bottle of whiskey, cheap boxed wine. Tried to flirt with Lisa from accounting again, but HR warned and that's strike number 10. Oh Sam, you gotta read the room. You ain't Casanova, you're just full of booms. Where the hell is Peter Blight? Did he call and say, go win the damn lottery? Nobody's seen him since 2:15. Was it a long night or a rendezvous? Oh, Bellotti, did you ghost us for good? Or are you just stuck in your neighborhood?
Manny's desk is a circus, it's a sight to see. Got a coffee tower teetering dangerously. Strange brews from who knows where, with labels all in code. One smells like gasoline, another like a toad. And in the corner, what's that shimmer? Oh, it's Manny's trusty nose hair trimmer. Down in San Antonio, there's a man you should know. Kevin Lamelli puts on quite a show. 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups with your squats in a row. A workout machine, he's got that morning glow. Kevin Lamelli, breakfast king. At the exact time, hear the syrup sing. Sometimes it's oatmeal, he's keeping it clean. But every single morning, he's living the dream.
Wipes the bottom of his sneakers. He's guarded by Lawson. Play in action. Carbuccia gets a screen from Ratliff. Carbuccia driving. Finds Ratliff. Free throw line. Jay. Yes! Clock continues to run. Panthers have one final chance. Here's Kennedy. Kennedy with 5. Step back. Jay. Yes! Oh,
45 seconds remaining.
Kennedy! Ice cold!
30 seconds remaining.
Oh, Uncle Sam's got his turkey day plans. Sipping bourbon from a can, yeah, that's his stance. He's got the Maggie Perloff show on blast. Feeling thankful and tipsy, talking fast.
15 seconds.
Uncle Sam, he's the man with a drink in his hand and a wild family plan.
Break
Chatting up a
in
storm
5
about
seconds.
freedom and fuss. Complaining about censorship and making a fuss. Daly's in the chat, shouting out loud. Hey, let us speak free, don't censor the crowd. But Trunkle just laughs with a grin and a wink. He's got Maggie and Perloff and plenty to drink.
Against the grain.
All right, welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. We were discussing in the last segment the Dak Prescott to Cleveland trade rumor. Maggie thinks that Cleveland is acting very mysteriously around their quarterback position.
Yeah,
Brought
kind of
in Kenny-
nonchalant.
Yeah, brought in Kenny Pickett. Who knows? They don't want to draft Shador according to the betting markets.
Yeah, the odds say that Abdul Carter is the favorite to go too. But meanwhile, the Browns have no quarterback really.
Right. So EJ brought up a topic that we've talked about many times this offseason. Maybe they're waiting for Arch Manning. Same with the Giants. If the Giants don't take a quarterback at 3, maybe they're tanking for Arch. Arch ain't coming next year.
What?
Arch is going back to college. I'm calling it right now on the show. Arch is going to do 2 years at Texas. So all these teams who are tanking for Arch are plumb out of luck. There are a lot of reasons why, some of which have been articulated by even Arch's camp. But other reporters like, Arch is not going to do 1 year at Texas. He did not sit there behind Quinn Ewers for 2 full years just to play 11 games at Texas. He is going back just like his Uncle Peyton, just like his Uncle Eli. He doesn't need a dime from the NFL. He does not care about being the number 1 overall pick. He wants to be at college. I am so confident about this. And the other thing, too, is basically 1 year starters do very poorly in the NFL. The Mannings know this better than anyone. They want 2 full seasons of Arch at Texas. So there's no tank for Arch this year. You have to tank 2 years down the road, which the Giants and Browns might very well be doing.
It's a long con.
And the other thing, too, and I think everyone's going to disagree with this, I don't think that Arch cares about the Giants. If the Giants are a horrible team, I don't think he cares if Uncle Eli played there. Because Arch did not go to Ole Miss. He did not go to Tennessee. He did not go to LSU. He doesn't care about being in New Orleans. He doesn't care about following Eli's footsteps. He doesn't care about following Peyton's footsteps. If the Giants are terrible, he's not going to just jump to them. I think Arch is going to be very, very picky next year, and I think there's a great chance he just stays at Texas. So this idea that you can tank for Arch is completely flawed.
Interesting. Yeah, that is not the prevailing thought. The prevailing thought is Arch waited 2 years, which is rare, something Eli and Peyton did not have to do. And 11 games as a starter, whatever it's going to end up being with the college football playoff, is going to be enough. Wait,
why?
So why do you think he needs more games? That's why he's not going to be seasoned enough.
I got this from our buddy Dennis Dodd. There's a quote from Quinn Ewers who had some analytics. 25 games of college is the minimum number you need to be successful in the NFL. And there's a lot of data. 1-year starters have really, really struggled. Only one is hit pretty much ever, Cam Newton. And Cam was a bit of an exception. Generally, 1-year starters in college spell disaster. Now, Kyler Murray had a little bit of success, but I don't think that has actually worked out. It's usually Mitchell Trubisky, Trey Lance. I can't remember who else is on the list, but Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson started all 3 years. But generally, guys without college experience do very poorly. Arch is on the young side, too. He would still be 22 at draft time. Yeah. I don't think he's in any rush. Here's the thing. He doesn't need a dime. Why would he come to the NFL? He's going to get $15 million to play at Texas, and he probably loves it there. It's a completely different game in the NIL era.
Yeah.
I don't know why he has to come out. For the second contract, what does he care?
Well, but your risk of getting hurt, right? And so here's the thing. His dad is not Peyton, and his dad is not Eli.
Right.
His dad is Cooper.
Yeah,
what happened to Cooper Manning?
That was in ninth grade, he hurt his neck, or whatever. 11th grade, he hurt his neck.
I'm just saying his father was the one where injuries robbed him of a career. If you really want to get to the NFL, and if that's the goal, playing another year in college just exposes yourself to a risk where you're not going to be able to make it.
Then why would he have waited for 2 years at Texas if he was in such a rush to get on the field?
I was shocked by that. I thought he should have transferred to USC. I said it at the time.
I'll tell you why. Because I think he wanted to be a superstar in college football. I think college football is really important to the Manning family.
Yeah.
And I think he went to play with Steve Sarkisian because he knows that he'll run a great offense at Texas. I think he's probably having the best time of his life down in Austin. I think they designed this whole thing to get him 2 years as a starter, which is, I don't think a radical take either. I think a lot of guys want some college experience. What does he have to worry about? He's going to make so much money down there that even if he did get hurt, he's a millionaire for life. His dad, Cooper's a very successful businessman. Yeah. It reminds me so much of Peyton. Peyton went back. He was really picky. He did not have to go back, and he went back to Tennessee. Eli stayed all 4 years. He probably could have come out. I don't really remember Eli as a junior, but I'm sure he would have been a high pick. So I just think, and it's not just him. I think there are a lot of guys with NIL who will be picky. They're not going to go into the draft if it's a horrible situation.
Yeah, I just haven't seen so far a guy who, besides Peyton Manning, you're right about Eli, but that was years and years before NIL. I've yet to see NIL keep a guy who could be a top 5 pick or a top 3 pick in college, even with the money. Like, if you're that high, we were just actually arguing about Cooper Flagg before the show, because I think you have a similar kind of thing about Cooper Flagg, your fear that somehow the Sixers are going to get the number 1 overall pick and Cooper Flagg's going to decide to go back to Duke. I think the NIL can keep guys in college, but not if you're going number 1 or number 2 overall. I still think that the siren song of the pros is still too much to ignore.
Well, if
for
you
the
go
lower guys, maybe it's your late lottery or your second round, hell yeah, go back to college.
Right, because a lot of guys went back this year, a ton of guys.
But not top 5 picks.
No, but Carson Beck went back, Drew Aller went back, Kate Klubnik went back, Garrett Nussmeier went back.
Well, they were all coming off some crappy seasons. Garrett
Nussmeier was pretty good, but yeah.
But they need to get their stock up.
No, I agree, but again, Arch is not everybody. Arch does not have to be concerned about this. He's going to be a number 1 pick whenever he wants to be.
Show bet?
Yeah, I'll do a show bet. I mean, I definitely will do a show bet on that one. I'll 1,000% do a show bet on Brock Purdy resigning in San Francisco.
Yeah, that was the other one we were talking about, these Dak Prescott to Cleveland rumors that popped up yesterday. Doesn't mean not necessarily that Dak is going to be going to Cleveland, but are the Browns looking to poach a starter that's on a different roster? And I think that Brock Purdy is there for the poaching, because I don't think that the 49ers, I think they like Brock Purdy. I don't know if they love Brock for $55 million. And they have Mac Jones now on the roster. I think they believe they can win with Mac Jones and keep the roster cheap.
Oh, by the way, Arch is still 19 right now. So he was on the young side of his class.
Yeah.
The man, he could have held him back outlier style, but they did not.
Redshirt year in kindergarten? Yeah.
I just think everyone, and actually my bigger point is this idea that you're looking at this draft and say, you know what, I'm not going to take a quarterback now because there might be this great mythical superstar next year is a very dangerous way to be in the NFL, because you never really know what's going to happen. So if the Giants are holding off on Shedeur because they think Arch is going to be there, I just think that's dangerous. Maybe they don't get in position to draft him. Like, so much could happen. But that narrative's out there that they're not. And EJ just said with Cleveland, too. They're not going to draft Shedeur because they think Arch is out there. You know.
But here's the thing, though. Tanking for a quarterback does actually work. It worked with Andrew Luck. It worked with Trevor Lawrence. It worked with Caleb Williams. That was a little bit different because it was a trade that Carolina made that was kind of crappy. Like,
well, I mean, you're talking.
You can manipulate getting the first overall pick and tanking for a quarterback, and it works.
You just named 2 situations in the last 15 years.
No, I named 3. I mean, I could have put Joe Burrow in there.
Well, Caleb doesn't count, because you're right. That was the Panthers.
Okay, what about Joe Burrow? I mean,
they did not tank for Joe Burrow. That was completely accidental. But the other thing too, Joe Burrow came out of nowhere. I'm talking about tanking a year in advance, saying we're not taking Shedeur. The Colts didn't do that either. They basically had injuries.
Yeah,
they didn't know that was going to happen. We're talking about
the Browns definitely sucked for Darnold, but it ended up being Mayfield. Like, I don't think they knew who they were going to be drafting, but
they knew they wanted to.
Yeah, they were 0-17.
Right, but
they were trying to.
Again, did that plan work? I think my point was, yeah, I do think teams will do it. I just think it's generally saying next year's class going a year in advance is. I think the funny thing is, I was looking at this 2 years from now is a crazy, crazy quarterback class, because I think Arch will go 1. I think that Dylan Raiola will go 2 and DJ Lagway will go 3. If you're going to tank for 2 years from now.
I know, but you just said it's
Why
not
are
a
you
sure
doing
thing.
This?
It's not a sure thing. Guys are coming out, so you can't say 2 years. It's a sure thing.
My point was, like, everyone's saying, wait for next year's quarterback class. Everyone's specifically saying this is a very weak. You've heard this. It's a weak quarterback class, right? So everyone's saying next year will be great. My point is, you do not know if next year will be great. It's just not. It's not a no-brainer. In fact, I think next year's class is going to be exactly like this year's class. You're going to have a bunch of guys who might get pushed up. So it's just a common draft narrative that, oh, wait for next year's class. I hear it every year. We say next year. We always say that, right?
You said it yesterday. Yeah. You were telling me that the Giants should suck for Arch Manning. Now you're telling me I got to wait 2 more years for
I know.
This?
Actually,
could you please let me off this hook?
It was after the show. I was thinking about that. That's exactly why I came. It's actually my Athlon piece for this week about the tank for Arch idea is going to end up horribly for somebody. I just don't think that this is the year to tank. And I think I'm talking about.
So that's why they have Russell Wilson. So now you're on my side. Let's go.
Oh,
wait, is Russell part of the tank or not part of the tank?
Can you tell the difference?
I mean, they are supposed to. They should be better with Russell Wilson at quarterback than they were last year.
Well, that's not a high bar to clear.
I know, but that's my point.
Well, does that mean
want to be better?
Wait, by the way, I'm sorry, this is a side topic. Does that mean they're not drafting a quarterback?
Well, the betting market moved, so it was supposed to be Shedeur Sanders was the favorite to go 3 until. When did the Russ signing happen? Literally 2 days ago?
Yeah.
2 days ago. Now it's Travis Hunter.
How large a swing? I mean, it doesn't mean Shedeur's out of the picture.
No, but it went from minus money to plus money.
And I did see that the Giants' win projection did not change.
Yeah, 3.5.
Ruh-roh.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. And it didn't move. Not even
crazy.
to 4.5.
It's because he doesn't have a catchphrase yet. Wait till the catchphrase comes out.
So speaking of that, if I may introduce my own update.
Yeah, come on in.
Because we had Russ yesterday. There was no catchphrase. There was no Sopranos impersonation. But he did speak to the media and was his normal cheesy self as the newest Giant quarterback.
Coming here, obviously being in New York, it's an exciting place to play. It's a place that wants to win. It's a place that knows how to win and has won before. And so for me, it's bringing everything I know all the experiences, all the touchdowns, all the wins, but also all the love and passion for the game.
Passion for the game. He's excited to lead men.
Hey, where's the freaking gabagoo?
We just didn't get that yet.
Maggie, you missed
what was,
yesterday.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
We
Is this when I
tried
was
to-
my puking haze?
You know how Russell Wilson always tries to accommodate chameleon in any situation? Is he going to start talking about gabagool and with a New York accent?
Yes.
Let's ride.
Yeah.
He's going to do the Tommy DeVito.
Yeah. He's going to morph and-
co-opt it.
He probably said, Tommy DeVito, we got to have a meeting, not about the offense, but how to act like a New Yorker.
So it's gonna
Hey,
be
forget about it.
Russell Cutlets?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Russell Cacciatore. Russell Parmesan.
Are they going to do like a 23andMe and turn out he's like 1/100th Italian?
He's going to get up his first press conference and be like, hey, where's the bleeping ziti?
That would be hilarious.
He was at the Knicks game last night, right?
That was my next question.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
predicted that yesterday, Bogue.
Oh, no, he asked me. I predicted
Oh,
that.
EJ, sorry.
Yeah.
EJ, you predicted. Yeah, that was faster than you expected, though, right?
That was fast.
And the way things went, is he allowed to go back to a second one?
No.
With the handle. He's got 6 in a row. Does he want more? Working on hard. It's a step back three. Unconscious. 3 in a row from downtown for numero uno, 89-84. Clippers by 5.
This guy's growing on me.
16 in the quarter for the bearded wonder.
That's Carlo Jimenez
Yeah.
on Clippers Radio. LA running away for a 126-113 win over the Knicks. James Harden, 29 points, 27 from Kawhi Leonard. Tom Thibodeau's team is now 5-5 without Jalen Brunson.
There's going to be adversity. You have to be mentally tough. You have to be able to get through that. You have to stay disciplined. And, I knew it would be a challenge. They're playing really well.
The Clips
Who
are.
needs Brunson?
The Knicks need Brunson. The Clips are currently playing well. They now win a tie for 6th with the Warriors at the moment.
Did you guys see Russell Wilson on the sideline? At one point, he said, hey, ref, what are you doing? Forget about it. That's a foul.
Get this guy some concrete shoes.
Yeah. I'm walking
with
here.
the fishes. Jeez, you guys. Wait, did he get? I'm assuming he gets put on the jumbotron. Did he get cheered? Or indifferent?
I didn't see the reaction. I only saw the Celebrity Row.
Yeah, maybe the TV
Does he
didn't
have
carry the
Sierra with
reaction.
him? She's a great airbag.
Yes, she was there.
No one's booing her.
Andrea's seriously hoping she could be friends with Sierra now that she's in the area.
Just in New York area.
Yeah.
Hey.
Andrea really thinks she's going to run into her, like
She's
getting
like,
her
maybe
nails
she
done.
needs a yoga teacher. And, she wants a private
Ooh,
yoga
I like it.
instructor. Andrea's a yoga instructor. She's like,
Oh, Sierra's a big yogi?
feels like she would be.
Oh, you don't know.
No idea, but I mean, I've seen her dance.
Just took a shot in the
I've seen her
dark. right
dance. I've seen her move. She's very flexible. I feel like
that
to
right?
be that good at what she does, you got to do yoga.
Does your fiance have any other celebrity clients at the moment?
No.
Okay.
I kind of co-starred in a movie with her. I could maybe introduce them.
You got her number?
Wow.
Yeah, she was the Andy Samberg's girlfriend, and That's My Boy, which I played Louis, the boom mic operator.
A lot of people who work here have things with Sierra.
Yeah.
What's going on? Whoa,
Whoa.
Is that an
What
earthquake?
in the heck
or
was
Okay.
that?
All right.
Sorry.
loud? I don't know.
Can
They're
I
doing
leave
a lot
today?
of construction in the building.
Are
You
we
want what I had?
excavating things? That was a.
That was a big boom. If you guys
Yeah.
heard that coming
Oh,
over the
boy.
air, we're fine. It's
One more
cool.
thing, by the way.
We may not be fine.
Remember when Bogus was on the air when the earthquake hit?
Yes.
Thanks, Bogus,
Yeah,
again.
and I stayed for that.
That was about a year ago now.
I know.
Wait, okay. Do you guys would have wanted me to stay after what I went through on Tuesday? When I tell you I did you the biggest
No.
favor any friend could ever do.
We're just thrilled for you to leave.
I just didn't like the fact that we didn't see you again. That freaked me out a little bit.
Well, EJ saw me. I was on the ground in the office.
I told him you looked like a Bond villain because you were like in the back in the darkness and we could only kind of see your shadow. You were like, yeah, just put the stuff in the office.
I was hunched over, like, I looked like I was praying because I was to some porcelain.
I'm like, is that
god.
Maggie or is that Deep Throat? What's going on? Am I about to get some FBI files?
Yeah, that
Well,
was rough.
I mean, yes, possibly with Maggie. You might have gotten some
JFK
info.
JFK info.
When I tell you guys,
Second shooter.
so I was obviously very sick on Tuesday, so much so that I had to leave during a commercial break, and Bogus had to come in and finish the rest of the show. So thank you so much for doing that, because I was really, really sick. And when I tell you that ride home, I've never been driving and puking at the same time. I'm sorry, America.
You threw up in the car?
Twice while I was driving, while I'm on the highway.
What did you do? Hook like a plastic bag over your ears? How'd you get this done?
I threw the coffee that was left in my coffee cup, and I puked in the coffee cup twice. I'm sorry. It was
Wow.
so bad. It was so
Quick,
bad.
show me your feet.
And why-
a better visual.
Why are you sharing that with the
I'm
audience?
sorry. I've never.
Who's
It's never
trying
happened
to
me.
drive to work
I'm sorry,
pleasantly
everybody.
right now?
Eating their bacon, egg, and cheese right now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That didn't
Jell-O.
help, EJ.
Dude, I lost 4 pounds.
Dang.
You and
What do
Mookie
you?
Betts.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, in like 12 hours. 24.
So wait, is you lost 4 pounds and like you're psyched you lost 4 pounds?
Well, I wish I didn't have to go through that to lose the 4 pounds.
But you'll take it?
Well,
People are
Can I
like,
get that
"Ooh."
routine real quick?
yeah. Why didn't we? I can't even make a joke. It was bad. Yep, it was bad.
Okay.
So thank you, and yes, it was better that I left the studio.
Is that the same mug that you're consuming?
I washed it out.
But it's the same mug.
You
Same
wash
mug.
it?
I washed it
God.
100 times. I put it in the
You wash it out?
dishwasher.
That thing has to go in the trash right now.
dog.
Wow.
You
I got
drinking out
dog.
of that? Are you out of your mind?
I cleaned it.
No, can't clean that one.
Did you
enough.
clean it with like bleach and stuff?
Bleach? No,
Oh,
dishwasher
yeah, no,
detergent.
Nah, it's got to go.
Are you guys serious?
A little bit.
That
We
cup
might.
has
I'm
gotta
starting
go.
to feel a little off. You mean that cup
All
that's
right,
8
I'm
feet
gonna
away
put-
from me?
I'm gonna put it away.
You drinking coffee out of the puke cup?
I cleaned it, just like I washed my sheets. I Lysoled my house.
Yeah,
You guys have gotten
do,
sick
but
and then recovered, right?
You're not going to move houses. That's a good point, but it's a little different.
I've like disinfected my toothbrush, like all the things that you do after you get sick. No.
Yeah, but I would have probably gotten rid of my Yeti and gotten
How do
a
you
new
disinfect a toothbrush? It's
So-
called buying a new toothbrush.
You can
I
do
guess-
that too.
There's like stuff that you can buy that I sleep with retainers in, TMI. And so there's stuff you buy.
You're just getting hotter by the minute.
I know. This is, hi guys. This is the real
Bad
Maggie
news.
here.
She's married, guys.
Damn it. I'm taken. Me and my retainers are taken. So
Fantasy's gone for a lot of listeners now, Maggie. Just let you know.
I am 4 pounds thinner, if that matters. But anyway.
And not in the feet, guys. Don't worry. Those
Don't
are
worry,
still
I haven't
the
lost
same.
anything in the feet. Feet are still, you can see them from outer space. There's stuff to clean your retainers, and I use it to clean the toothbrush. This is not enough. I'm the gross person.
I'm good with the toothbrush.
No,
I think that's
You
okay.
throw that bad boy away and you get a new
All
toothbrush.
right, I'll throw it away.
But the
then.
cup's the headliner.
The cup is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the toothbrush, I'm okay with. The cup.
I love this cup though.
I
I'll
know
get you a new
how much
one.
I love Yetis. I carry one all the time.
I know.
Yeah. Aren't you like everyone else who has 47 Yetis that are collected through the years?
I know, but this is like my special one.
Yeah, because you puked in it now.
You
That's
shouldn't
why
have done
it's
that.
a
You
wrong
should've-
special.
Where else was I gonna puke?
You know,
Right on my lap?
No, right on the side of the LIE. I don't know.
I couldn't like pull over.
Yeah, I've been there.
I just had to go just right there. I'm sorry. It happened twice
I'm
in a
impressed-
40-minute
I'm
ride
impressed
home.
you got home, and thank God you got home.
I was going 40, like I was going
You're
really slow.
but still, that's
It was dangerous.
yeah. But I mean,
'Cause my
nothing
eyes
you can
were
do about it,
watering.
though. Yeah,
I know.
that was crazy.
And like that's the only way my brain works. Like I'm immediately thinking of like logistics. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering like, does your husband need to come get you to drive you home? Like
Yeah.
I was thinking of all of these different scenarios, like how we were gonna get you actually out of here.
No, it was rough. I just had to I was like all hunched over driving home puking.
So back to the hurling.
Yeah.
So you say you hurled twice on the car ride home.
No, like I had like 2 different sessions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so after the first sesh,
Yeah.
did you empty out the contents of that cup and
I did
just
not. I
I gotta go. I'm off tomorrow, guys. Just a heads up.
I couldn't throw it out the window.
You could have.
You could have thrown the whole cup out the window. Actually,
Here's the thing, though. I was just down to the bile at that point.
I'm starting to
I'm
think
out.
that I'm starting to think you might need a new car too. That leased or owned because this thing's got to go. Can we get a hazmat team into the studio? By the
Can
way,
we get a new Maggie? How does that work?
I don't know. Whatever
Is
it
ours
is.
broken?
Nope, this is me.
Does anyone else feel like they're about to throw up?
I'm
I think
sorry.
we need to change the topic because I
Okay.
think we're making the audience sick too.
I'm sorry.
Tell us one of your fun, good stories.
I have nothing.
That we usually boo off the air.
No, I got nothing for you. Oh,
I
we
got a
can update
feel
the
good
sequel.
story about a fan at the Royals opening day. Boring.
What do I have on here? I actually do have
Bile, apparently.
something.
dry heaving.
Wait, let me guess. A 2000s NBA player tells a random story on a podcast.
Yes, Jeff Teague.
Yes.
On the money.
Yeah.
Jeff Teague talking about
I'm well
the best
aware.
thing about being an NBA
I'm well
player
aware
is
of the
Gatorade,
fascination with this genre.
of which I had every flavor.
You
over
missed
the
an
last-
Ipe story yesterday, by the way.
I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't show
yeah.
up for jail.
What?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
on the lam, and you guys are just telling me right now?
I guess they agreed to move it back, but we didn't know he was.
It sounded a little shady.
It did. But yeah, he didn't go when he was supposed to.
I'm Shohei Ohtani.
What? You guys are just letting me know this now?
I'm shocked you didn't know already.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, doesn't your phone buzz with things like that?
So you had push your notifications on all things he paid.
This is all too much. We have new JFK documents. We have an eBay story. We have a random 2004 NBA player saying something on a podcast. This is all too much.
I'm overwhelmed.
The perfect show.
All right, take a break. We have a sequels bracket that we have to update as well. It's MMP. Blah.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right. This portion of the show is brought to you by Ethos Life, the easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes, up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Just a few health questions. Get your free quote at checkethos.com. Not available in all states. We went totally off the rails last segment here, Maggie Perloff show. So, by the way, there was more meat on the bone about how everyone is excited to have Ciara in New York, and nobody seems to want Russell Wilson. But that Brian Dable hugged Ciara so much more happily than he did. Yeah, he basically pushed Russ aside to meet Ciara. And then Maggie told her very disgusting story about driving home while having a stomach issue.
Yeah, puking on the way home.
Yeah, that was
in
not
the car.
good. Not good. Everybody in the newsroom heard it, and everyone's like, do you feel a little queasy? Yeah, I feel a little queasy.
I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, let's make you feel a lot better. Let's get to some movie sequels. Okay. We're in the Hoth region. I always say it like...
Nailed it.
Like I'm saying it for the first time because I'm not a Star Wars person. But we have some results that we want to update you for. Here are second round results, Perloff. The number 1 seed in this region, of course, we're talking about Hoth. It's Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. They move on, beating out Beverly Hills Cop 2.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No. Try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
Who are these 17% who voted for Beverly Hills Cop 2?
Me.
Yeah, Maggie's saying, oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, forget Nielsen.
God.
You guys, give it another chance. Anyway, Beverly Hills Cop 2 is gone. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back moves on. In the 12-4 matchup, Spider-Man 2, an easy victory over The Incredibles 2.
You killed my father.
There are bigger things happening here than me and you. Harry, please, I've got to stop him.
Pleasantly surprised by the next result. We're in the Maggie and Perloff movie sequels bracket where the 3rd seed Batman Returns gets its credit, taking out Too Fast, Too Furious.
Great speech, Oswald.
My name is not Oswald. It's Penguin. I am not a human being. I am an animal. Cold-blooded. Crank the AC. Where are my lists? Bring me the name.
So forget about it, cuz.
That's the Tom Thibodeau sound.
You're,
I'm just kidding.
You're pleasantly surprised that a Batman franchise beat up one of 9 Fast and Furious movies.
I just love Batman Returns. I think it's underrated.
Definitely more than 9 as well.
Oh, right. That's a good point. But I just think Too Fast, Too Furious, like, which Fast and Furious sequel do you pick? That was generally a tough one.
Too Fast, Too Furious is the one you pick.
Is that the best one?
I think so.
Well, they are going home. Batman Returns marches on. And finally,
So forget about it, cuz.
This one was close. The closest of all the matchups in this Hoth region in the second round. The 2nd seed, Aliens, 59% of the vote, takes out the 7 seed, Rush Hour 2, that got 41%.
Ripley, it was a bad call.
Bad call.
Right.
These people are dead, Burke! Don't you have any idea what you've done here? Well, I'm gonna make sure that they nail you right to the wall for this. You're not gonna sleaze your way out of this one. Right to the wall.
Mess with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. That was a tough matchup for Rush Hour 2.
I'm pissed.
Yeah,
I know, man.
I feel
This
like
was a
Rush
big
Hour
one.
2 maybe was a little underseeded. Very popular movie. Did really well.
Great movie. But Aliens 2 is kind of thought of as one of the great sequels. I mean, it's a 2C for a reason.
Way better than Aliens 1. It's one of those where the sequel, the second part of a trilogy is better than the first. Superman 2, same thing. Superman 2, way better than Superman 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Wrath of Khan, way better than Star Trek 1, which was the Seinfeld episode.
The Dark Knight, better than Batman Begins. So Batman Begins is very underrated, too.
Which is why we had to do this movie sequels bracket, because we got to determine what is the greatest movie sequel of all time. And you are helping us do this. So there were some results from the Hoth region, and we'll update you on more later.
Maggie revealed one of the reasons we got into this. She loves comedy sequels where a lot of critics do not, obviously.
Yeah.
And she said her reasoning was a lot of times I saw part 2 on cable before I saw part 1.
Yeah.
So, for example, Beverly Hills Cop 2 is not good if you've seen Beverly Hills Cop 1. But if you've never seen Axel Foley in his full glory, then you're like, this is hysterical.
Yeah, it was the first R-rated movie I ever saw, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 1 is amazing. So, but you didn't know that. So you're like, this is really funny. This guy's from Detroit.
He's like talking cop from Detroit.
Yeah. He's got a great sort of chemistry with Judge Reinhold.
Good theme song.
Yeah, it was great the first time.
Well, this is why we exist, because we got to get to the bottom of the greatest movie sequel of all time. So you're helping us do it, as I said, and thank you for that. 888-710-4ISN. Got a couple sports questions out there for you. One, could LeBron James have played this well in any era? He did a big sit-down with Pat McAfee show that aired yesterday. And second question for you, after some Cleveland Browns Dak Prescott trade rumors, who's going to be the Browns starting quarterback in week 1? I got my thoughts, and he's playing in the Bay Area right now. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Maggie's rolling down the highway, feeling kinda rough. Last night's dinner, fighting back, oh man, it's getting tough. She grips her wheel, but it's too late, oh no, here it comes. Her Yeti Angel's holding water, now it's holding chunks. Oh, Maggie's puking in her car. Yeti bottle's gone too far. Her toothbrush ain't gonna make it through. Perloff's calling hazmat, man, it's true. She stumbles into the studio, trying to play it cool. Perloff takes one whiff and screams, this ain't in my job rules. He's climbing on the desk, he's spraying Lysol in the air. Says I need a full decontamination, get me out of here. Oh, Maggie's puking in her car. Yeti bottles, a biohazard scar. Toothbrush soaked in bleach all night. Perloff's in a hazmat suit and fright. Audio, he still ain't here. Probably at home, drinking a beer. WM's in a toxic state, but he's still on vacation, must be fate. Swear she's feeling fine, says come on, let's do the show. Perloff shakes his head, says nah, I think I gotta go. The janitor quits, the boss is pissed, the whole place smells like doom. All 'cause Maggie's road trip snack made an exit too soon. Oh, Maggie's puking in her car. Perloff's running way too far. The laddie's ghosting work again. Just another day on Maggie and Perloff.
This is Daly. I'm out here. And Cap, I think you're great.
One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
LeBron James getting candid on the Pat McAfee Show. Welcome to our show, Maggie Perloff Show. So glad to have you, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, and one of the big reveals, a couple of them that LeBron had in that interview, Pearl, which lasted over an hour, was his relationship with Michael Jordan, which he said is basically non-existent. He said it's fine. They don't talk, but he anticipates that he and Jordan are actually going to become good friends when LeBron eventually retires, because that's what happened between LeBron and Kobe.
Right.
So once he's like no longer, what LeBron said, no, when Jordan doesn't have to watch me running up and down the court wearing 23, then we can finally be friends. The other part was LeBron saying that he could play in any era. And I think he said this before, but it's really kind of touched a nerve with some people, because either, you don't want to believe that LeBron could have withstood the physicality of the early 90s teams like the Bad Boy Pistons, the late 80s teams, or you think that, I don't know, that LeBron's game would not have translated in the 70s. I don't see it. I don't see how a 6'9", 240, 50-pound guy who does have skill like LeBron would not be able to play in any era. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I think you could make an argument that he'd have to play differently. I think that is he would have. I agree with you. He definitely could have played it. He would have been a superstar in any era, but he would have had to approach it much differently. He would have had to get in a lot more fights. I don't think, has he ever gotten in a fight?
I don't remember one.
Yeah,
like on the court brawl.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the eras. I think he's talking about the 80s and 90s. It was the big man era, and now it's the small man era.
Right.
So he's playing. I was actually just looking at this, right? The leading scorers in 1988 were all Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Hakeem. Right now it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You do have Giannis and Jokic, but you have Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum, guys who are on the wing more. So it's a much different game. It used to be Karl Malone's league, and now it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's league. So LeBron, I think that's what people are talking about. But LeBron obviously is so big that he could have adjusted. I don't know if anyone, how can you make that argument?
Yeah, I think so too. And I think as much punishment as he would have taken in a different era, I think he also could have been doling it out. I mean, LeBron doesn't generally, to me, play angry. It doesn't seem like he plays angry, but
Well, he's not.
I think he would have. If you're getting armbarred by Bill Laimbeer, it's going to make you angry. And I think that he would have had to find something. He would have displayed just a different kind of on-court demeanor than he has right now.
Yeah, except though he's a guard, though. Would he have matched up? I'm not sure. Is he going to dole out punishment? He does not. He doesn't love going down. He's not a huge fan of posting up down low every time. Probably. I don't think he still would have been a guard. He would have been closer to Magic, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Magic didn't play angry.
No, because he was on the perimeter. He didn't have to.
Right.
So that's a question. I think LeBron would have floated around, gotten away from Horn and those guys.
Yeah, well, that's what people are saying, right? It's like that he couldn't have played or he wouldn't have been successful in that era because teams would have been so physical with him. But he could have used his speed to blow by a lot of those guys, too.
Yeah, define successful. Like, are people saying he wouldn't be an all-star? I mean,
I think greatest of all, like in the conversation for GOAT, right there with MJ. I don't know. I don't see it. I think he still would have been as successful. I think he is that transcendent talent. LeBron also said that if Giannis was playing in the 70s, that he would score 200 points in a game because Giannis has these physical skills that we didn't see back then. You didn't see guys taking off from beyond the free throw line and dunking.
You saw Dr. J do that exact thing, but yeah.
With the type of size that Giannis has, Dr. J was not 6'11".
No, but... Well, he's pretty tall.
He's pretty tall, but not 6'7". That.
Yeah, I just think that, I'm, by the way, I don't want to sound like Mad Dog. Mad Dog got really mad and said, Dr. J was way better than Giannis on ESPN yesterday. I don't even really know about that. I feel like there were a lot of big men running around. Kareem played in the 70s.
True story?
Yeah, but Kareem wasn't the type of player that Giannis is.
Yeah, I guess his 70s, but the 80s, isn't Karl Malone similar to Giannis?
I don't think Karl Malone was...
He's not quite as tall, but he runs the floor just like Giannis.
But
did.
he wasn't taking off from the free. I don't remember Malone taking off from the free throw line.
No, he wasn't as vertical.
They were
as
running
Giannis.
the pick and roll.
Yeah, I mean, Karl Malone's the third leading scorer of all time. I think he compares very well to Giannis. Might be even higher on the all-time list of players. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Yeah, Giannis would have been great, but could he done the things that he's doing now? Would he be able to do the Euro step, for example? We talked about it before. We would have no idea it could travel automatically because we'd never seen it. Yeah, he would have been great, but by the way, he would not have played the same way. He would have been, coaches would have said, you get down by the basket. There's no way you take the ball up the court. You weren't allowed to do that stuff.
I think that's the most important part of the conversation whenever people talk about these generational conversations, because it's like, well, Kareem couldn't play today because he couldn't shoot a three-pointer. I'm like, you don't think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could have learned a three-point shot if he was taught how to shoot? He was a great free throw shooter. He was a great 10-foot shooter. Like, the best players always find a way, right? Like, they have something special about them. Their hard work, their skill level. Right. So, like, yes, Giannis would not be dribbling like a point guard and bring the ball off the court, but you don't think he could have got a post game? Look at his footwork. Look at how athletic he is. Like, it would, like, I think Perloff has been on the money. It would be a different. He would look different. LeBron would play different. Giannis would play different, but they would still be great players.
I bet maybe, EJ, you were in a different era, but I wasn't allowed to go outside. I was at 6'4", I was the big man, for better or worse. There's no way. If the coach saw me dribble, he's like, you better stop doing that. Now, if you're 6'4", you're a point guard.
Well, I was the kind of kid that I was not very fast, but I was a really good shooter. And that was tough because it was like, stop shooting so many threes. Like,
did the coach ever tell you to get down low or something like that?
No, that was short, so I didn't have to worry about that. But there was an aspect of, you shoot too many threes, like those are bad shots. And, like, I feel
completely changed now.
Yeah, I feel like kids today, like, if you're a young kid and you're a shooter, like, this is a great time for you because everyone knows that, threes are more than twos and the analytics in the game. So everyone's games will be entirely different based on the generation you play in.
So we asked you on X, do you think LeBron James could have been a superstar playing in the 1980s? And overwhelmingly, 65% of you are saying yes to 35% saying no. But we've had a lot of callers today who have thought differently, that no, it would have been the physicality.
They would have beat him up. I mean, I think the question is, would he has been as dominant in the 70s and 80s as he is today? Maybe those guys take him out a little more. They took out Jordan for the first half of his career. They were really physical with him. Maybe it would have been harder. I can squint and see that. You're right. He could have doled out punishment, but he would have had to fight the bad boys. He literally would have had to throw fists with Bill Laimbeer.
And by the way, I mean, we talk about LeBron, the era he played in, and yes, we're talking about a lot of guys he played against now.
He played in multiple eras.
Right. He was playing against the Pistons of basically 04, 05. Like that team that beat up Kobe Bryant and Shaq that won the title, those are the teams he was trying to compete against to get to the championship. He played against the Spurs. Those were Bruce Bowen. Those were physical defensive teams. So LeBron has played so long.
The Celtics?
That in some ways, like I think he's kind of the wrong person to talk about with this because he did play in a more physical NBA than today. Maybe not the 80s, but I mean, the 04 Pistons, you know what I'm talking about? That's not a great defensive team. That's not a physical team. Of course they were.
but he didn't. Yeah, but he didn't do anything against them.
He scored 27 straight points and went to the finals.
One of his great moments against the Pistons.
Yeah.
Also, too, that Pistons team was built a lot differently than the bad boy Piston team. They had Ben Wallace and Rasheed were not necessarily the kind of bruisers that Mahorn and Lambeer just cheated.
You couldn't be that way anymore.
Right. But
Ben Wallace would block everything.
You'd foul out in 5 seconds.
Yeah, Lambeer and Mahorn never blocked anybody's shot. That was it was a totally different. That was Larry Brown basketball.
Yeah.
That was a completely different style of Pistons team. Tayshaun Prince was this amazing defender. He would never been on the bad boy Pistons. It'd be like, punch somebody. What are you doing here?
Yeah, they're not going to fight you, but they were physical, though. I mean, Ben Wallace looked like he should have been playing on the offensive line somewhere. I mean, you're talking about just pure dealing with physicality, playing in the paint, dealing with someone's going to knock you down when you go to like LeBron did deal with that.
See, I think this is what gives LeBron a lot of credibility. And I know some people love him and some people hate him. And you listen to this interview, you either find him charming and endearing or you find him insufferable. He's just that kind of guy. But like Tom Brady, who played in multiple eras, I think that his opinion on this holds a lot more weight because he has done it for 22 years. He has been part of multiple eras, and he has seen probably one of the biggest sea changes in the entire league. A lot like Brady, outside of the forward pass, not being able to touch quarterbacks anymore has changed so much. Just like LeBron has gone through a shooting revolution in the league. So
also a physical. They started calling, especially watch the James Harden game. They started calling ticky-tack fouls. I don't know what year they changed the officiating way, so it got much less physical. And then they go back and forth. But by the way, LeBron is not the one who should be talking about this. Other people should be deciding LeBron's legacy. That is a weird quirk of LeBron that he gets involved in this debate.
Oh, that's the thing now, though. That's not just LeBron. That's LeBron. It's Michael Jordan put out his 10-part documentary.
But Michael Jordan did it more passively aggressively. He put out a gigantic. He didn't come out and say, I'm the GOAT. He said, I'm going to do a multi-million-dollar 10-part documentary. LeBron actually goes out and starts talking about his own legacy like he's an analyst, like he's analyzing any other player. That always struck me as weird.
Tom Brady does it. How many Tom Brady docs? Tom versus time, guys?
No, but does Tom actually give an interview where he ranks quarterbacks? And
I think Pearl's right on that.
Yeah. I don't know. Tom Brady
LeBron
definitely toots his own horn a lot, guys. A lot.
No,
Dude,
but LeBron is very...
Tom Brady's never said, I'm the greatest quarterback of all time. He's never said that.
He doesn't need to. Right, and LeBron doesn't need to
say
it.
How many documentaries do you need on Tom Brady? He doesn't. Does he have to actually spell it out? He's saying it, guys. He's saying he cares more, that he's more... that he's more determined, that he made more sacrifices. Like, Tom's whole thing is about everything he did to stay in the game. You don't think that's...
LeBron is 3 feet away from doing a Bleacher Report gallery of the 10 greatest players, ranking himself number one. LeBron is so open about it. You just said it. LeBron is somebody you should listen to. When he says, I could have played in the 80s, we should listen to him. Let other people say that. That's like not LeBron's job.
Well, I think they are saying it. A couple other things from yesterday, because he did an hour-long sit-down. So they covered a lot of territory here on the Pat McAfee show. One was about, lots. His relationship with Michael Jordan, which, he said he thinks is going to be very good once he retires. And I agree with him on that. He also had some media beefs that he kind of fanned the flames on. Nothing got squashed yesterday, that's for sure. So his confrontation with Stephen A. Smith.
I'm in no mood.
Let's hear Cuff 4, Manny.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're also.
It started off with, I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Yeah, it went viral. You would be talking about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you could address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously.
Okay, more from LeBron on Stephen A. Said he missed the whole point of the confrontation which was when Stephen A. was being critical of Bronny, not just being critical of Bronny, but appealing to LeBron to stop Bronny, to take him out of the league because he's getting embarrassed, and that's what led to the confrontation.
He completely missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players.
Okay, so that was what LeBron was saying. The confrontation is because Stephen A. got too personal. And Perloff, I think you believe that LeBron should be not just mad at Stephen A. about this.
No, I don't think LeBron should be mad at anybody about this. I carry a mixed message. So he said, I'm protecting my own household, but I'm protecting the players. Who does he mean by that?
I think, so he goes on to tell the story about Joel Embiid, who
right.
There was a reporter in Philadelphia
about his brother
who said that, who basically said, are you actually living up to the legacy you said you wanted to leave for your brother, who tragically died as a 13-year-old? And Embiid got very upset by that and confronted the reporter in the locker room. So I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
Now, that's a very extreme example of someone who obviously went over the line.
Yeah, hard to defend that. I think LeBron is parsing words about what Stephen A. said. I think Stephen A. insulted Bronny and LeBron and the whole situation in a similar way to everybody else. I know Stephen A. took it a step farther and saying you're being a bad father, but I think people were killing LeBron for forcing this situation. And I don't know if Stephen A., what he was doing is any different. To me, that did not raise the level where LeBron should have. I thought he kind of physically threatened him. And I don't like that at all when a player who's 6'9", 260 is basically saying, stop talking or I'm going to beat you up. That's never really a good thing, and I don't think it was necessary at all.
So it's funny because LeBron did say that they didn't address that specific part, which Pat McAfee, that could have been a good follow-up. Did you physically threaten? Did you mean to be physically intimidating?
Why did you have to ask? We saw it.
Well, here's LeBron saying he believes that the media has gotten too comfortable in taking personal attacks on players and how this wouldn't have flown. This wouldn't have been cool back in the days of Charles Oakley or Vernon Maxwell.
I think people in the media have gotten too comfortable, especially with our sport. They got too comfortable where, back in the day, for sure, you would never bring up Charles Oakley's brother.
Yeah.
Charles Oakley will smack you through his brother. All right. Yeah. Mad Max, his name was Mad Max for a reason. It wasn't because he picked you up 94 feet. It was because if you said something about Mad Max, he's gonna separate your jaw. And there was no repercussions from that.
Yeah, I mean, again,
but LeBron's almost saying that like it's a good thing. He's
are we
absolutely
aspiring to that? I don't think that's not the good old days to me when when a lot of people were very sometimes players and the media still had very contentious relationships, and guys had less to lose back then.
Well, I understand it's a player's point of view, obviously, but I do think a critical media is a very important part of the league. This is my opinion. I know everyone doesn't agree with it. If you basically have softball interviews and cheerleaders, eventually people are going to get bored with the product, and you're not going to get those $500 million contracts. So players, if anything, should embrace the controversy because it sells.
Yeah, I think that the players, the devil's advocate there is why the players have a problem with inside the NBA and have a problem with Chuck and with Shaq and always clowning the league and being way too critical and almost going out of their way.
I'm gonna knock your ass out.
Going out of their way to be critical.
I mean, why would anybody want to watch any other show besides Inside the NBA? The ESPN shows are terrible in comparison. As a fan, give me Inside the NBA all day long.
Play them if you want to.
Okay, so... Well, I mean, I get both sides of that because...
But as a fan, though, what's the other side? You want to see a sort of a promotional product?
No, I definitely don't. I want a more critical eye, but I also don't mind... it's hard, right? Because I think you can find whatever you want to find. This is this day and age in the media. If you want to find critical, you can find critical. Right. If you want to find fawning, you can listen to McAfee yesterday. Yeah. You can find that. They kind of get the benefit of both, right?
Yeah, I mean, they sort of in a unique lane. McAfee has found this sort of special sauce where he's very interesting and very complimentary of players.
Definitely. And, and doesn't really do like the follow-ups and stuff. But listen, kudos to him. He gets the big interviews. Guys feel comfortable coming in. LeBron James came into their studio and spent an hour with them. I mean, that's every sports show's dream. I want to get to one other media beef, though. Yeah.
One thing, if you ask 100 NBA fans, which show do you like more, Inside the NBA or ESPN's NBA show, I would assume 99 won't like the Inside the NBA. And every fan I know, of course, it's hysterical. They're very funny, and they have the pedigree to talk about basketball. Are they lazy and too critical at times? Yes, but it's kind of part of the charm. I don't know. I think that I just think that this whole idea that the media is too critical it's not a good look for LeBron. Just let it go. You're going to be in the media in 3 years, probably doing the same thing. By the way, dude.
He's already in. We got the podcast season 2.
You're probably going to be. I was wondering, he's doing an hour of McAfee. Is LeBron going to ESPN someday? And you don't think he's going to get up there and rip a player? That's how we do it.
He's an idiot and a fool.
Okay, so the other part of this was not just media beefs with Stephen A. Smith, which was a little more obvious because they had it out courtside. But Brian Windhorst. So if you're into this kind of thing, Brian Windhorst went to the same high school as LeBron James and covered LeBron when he first got into the league. He's written a book about LeBron. And LeBron wanted to clear up, they are not friends. Here's LeBron.
I see a lot of too. Like I seen Brian Windhorst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like
Wendy.
Yeah,
you played
over high school.
Wendy, you guys played together in high school.
Yeah,
right? He was on your high school.
This guy was like, says he's like my best friend. These guys are just weird.
Why would they do that?
Okay, and then LeBron, why is Wendy weird? Here's why.
He went on his show and said, oh, don't let LeBron fool you. Like, he wears number 23 because of Michael Jordan. Okay, that's a fact. He signed with Nike because of Michael Jordan. It's like, no, I didn't. I signed with Nike because I got a hell of a signing bonus, and they gave me a 7-year, $90 million contract. And I moved my mom out of the hood the next day I signed that contract. And ultimately, my whole thing is like, what do I want to wear off the court? It's like, I want to wear Nikes.
Why would they do that?
So...
feels like kind of a minor point to go after Wendy on.
Talking about getting a little too personal. I mean,
why would they do that?
I was just a little surprised by this. Listen, if he wants to say Windhorst acts like he's my best friend and he's really not. Well, first of all, I don't think Brian Windhorst really acts like that. He's never broken a big LeBron story despite having all this history.
Is that right?
He didn't break the biggest one because Lee Jenkins did.
No free agent signings he's broken.
I don't think he broke him back to the L.A.
He didn't break the decision.
He didn't break the decision. Yeah. He didn't break LeBron going from Heat to Cleveland, and I don't think he broke the L.A. one either. So, but I also don't want to, I want to be fair to Windhorst here. Windhorst has taken this role and really run with it.
Yeah.
Like, he's all over the league now, covering everybody. He's not just the LeBron whisperer anymore.
Well, right, because so Wendy's background, was he a Cavs reporter? And then he just covered LeBron in high school?
No, they went to the same high school.
Oh, they really did?
They did, because his mom worked at the school.
Yeah, he was there when
St.
LeBron
Vincent
was
St.
there.
Mary's, yeah.
He wasn't on the team, was he?
No, he wasn't on the team.
That was a Photoshop.
Yeah.
I actually didn't.
Which was also kind of mean.
Sorry, I didn't even know Wendy went to the same school.
Yes.
I thought he was a working reporter who was covering him.
No, he went to school with LeBron James. They might be the same year. They might have graduated the same year. If not, they're close.
Yeah, it's kind of
years.
like yourself and Kobe.
But did Wendy start covering LeBron back in 2004? So he was a very young reporter?
Yeah, I think he was working for like the Akron Beacon Journal or something. Yeah,
right on the money
they go back all this way. And by the way, I do think that Wendy is talking to people in LeBron's circle. I don't think that it's maybe not LeBron, but he's obviously got some contacts in there. I mean, again, he wrote a whole book about LeBron, and it's a good book.
By the way, I think Wendy's, I'm seeing 7 years older than LeBron, so they might not have been in high school at the same time. Because Windhorst was definitely covering him as a rookie. He was already as a young reporter. Felt a little bit like LeBron was stuffing the nerd into the locker on this Windhorst thing. I kind of felt like got some bad, not that I have experience with that. I was definitely the one stuffed into the locker. Felt, I'm like, LeBron, it was a really fun interview. There's a lot of good vibes in that room. And then he said that thing about Wendy. I'm like, LeBron, why'd you just do that? I was starting to like you so much in this interview.
Well, Stephen A. makes an interesting point. I'm trying to find this clip, but I vaguely remember LeBron saying that no one knows me better in the league than Windhorst.
Did he really?
Yeah, Stephen A. said that, and I remember that when LeBron said that. I forgot where it came from. So that also made this weird. I was like, wait, didn't you say that? Because I was stunned. I always thought Windhurst really didn't know much about LeBron, and LeBron lobbied that.
Mm-hmm.
So then to come back now and say he's acting like he's my effing best friend seemed weird.
Maybe the book changed it. I
think so. I think something happened.
The book was definitely, I think it was a New York Times bestseller. That was where all the details came out about the meeting between LeBron and Pat Riley in Las Vegas, where LeBron kept Riley waiting. They were watching a World Cup game. He wouldn't give him the time of day. By the way, they confirmed that cookie story yesterday that Dwayne Wade told, Pearl. That Riley ordered the code red to take away LeBron's cookies.
Yeah. Did he confirm that's why he left Miami?
No, but he did say he didn't like it.
He did say he when he saw Dwayne Wade didn't get paid, he's like, you know what? Maybe the cookies thing wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah, right.
Then I wanted to pay Dwayne Wade. Maybe I should have, maybe the cookie thing wasn't that bad.
Apparently, these stewardesses were making homemade cookies for him.
That's very nice.
Well,
sounds delicious.
I know. And he was eating 2, and then they'd get to the gambling. And then all of a sudden one day the stewardesses looked at him and said, sorry, no more cookies.
Yeah, I mean, if LeBron James says, hey, may you make me some cookies? I think anybody would say, yeah, sure, LeBron, I'll make you some cookies.
I don't think he has to ask. I think he drops that he likes cookies and all of a sudden cookie companies are just like flooding.
I, too, enjoy cookies.
You're not getting any cookies, man.
Damn it.
We'll see. There's another part of this interview that we did not get to, but it was my favorite part. It lasted maybe 20 seconds and nobody's talking about it.
Really?
But it is absolutely my favorite part of the whole interview. Get to that. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Could LeBron have played in any era? Let us know.
Hey, LeBron, we're pulling for your groin.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. That is my 14-year-old daughter's favorite song of all time, Teenage Dirtbag. So, Manny, you were probably in your prime when that came out. Actually, no, that's an older song. Anyway, Maggie, I know you were happy yesterday because of the LeBron James interview on the Pat McAfee show, because he brought up a point that you and EJ also have been hammering home since we started the show, and you still have not convinced me.
Yes, this was one of the most validating, vindicating, all the words and all the positivity, because EJ and myself, we are NBA draft conspiracy theorists.
Yep.
And it turns out that LeBron James is one of us.
You know, during the lottery drop, Cleveland got the number 1 pick. I just don't think that was. What a coincidence!
Don't you think?
Wemby with the Spurs. That wasn't a coincidence.
Oh my God! Let's keep LeBron home. You know what? Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. You know, Derrick Rose to the Bulls. Like, I understand the assignment, guys. I had to make sure that, I had to do my part.
Salute LeBron saying what everyone feels about this. It was
Not
so
everyone.
on the nose.
Not
that
everyone.
The guy who grew up 30 minutes outside Akron. By the way, the whole first 15 minutes of this interview is setting up how improbable it is that someone from Akron living in the projects would become one of the greatest basketball players of all time, right? And LeBron says this was his biggest motivation. I didn't want to be a screw up. I didn't want to screw up my opportunity. This is how I've kept my nose clean for all these years, et cetera, et cetera. You don't think the league loved the fact that LeBron could save his hometown franchise? And even LeBron said the frozen envelope, Derrick Rose to Chicago to be post-Michael, Wemby to the Spurs because of, Greg Popovich's ability and success with foreign players. It's all there, Pearl.
I think you're doing Monday morning quarterback. I think you're looking back at every situation and saying, so if it's so all there, we have, let's say Cooper Flag goes pro.
Yeah.
And this is the assignment. These are the top 8 teams in the lottery. You have Utah, Washington, Charlotte, New Orleans, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Toronto, Miami. If it's so obvious, then which of those teams is the NBA routing Cooper Flag to? I know that you're going to say after it happened, of course the NBA did that. You should be able to predict it in advance then.
Okay, so I do have a prediction for this, and I do think I know exactly where he's going to be going. Because I think that they need to resurrect the DC market.
Bah! Resurrect. It was never alive.
Well, I'm just saying.
Resurrect means that anybody's ever given 2 hoots about Washington basketball.
They got John Wall. I mean, I just think that, and they have really not had a lot of success since. The Gilbert Arenas thing, he was not their draft pick, and that ended up being good until it wasn't good, until it was really bad.
What happened?
Yeah, I've got a couple articles I can send you. I think the DC thing is due.
Okay, but all right, maybe that happens, but you can't possibly say that if DC wins the lottery, if the Wizards win the lottery, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, of course the Wizards win the lottery," because that's just a random choice out of those teams.
Okay,
that is totally
Jaden
random.
Daniels.
That's not Derrick Rose to the Bulls. That's completely and totally random to me.
So this is where my theory comes from, and not just the frozen envelope and all that stuff. So I was lucky enough to work for the NBA when I got out of college, and I worked for NBA TV, and I saw up close and personal. I know, flex. I saw up close and personal what a billion-dollar business it is.
Right.
Multi-billion dollars. I'm sitting there working amongst it, very low on the totem pole.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm one of 1,000 people who are working for this corporation conservatively all across the country and across the world. There's so much at stake in where these massive prospects go. And you're telling me they're really leaving that up to ping pong balls. Like everyone here who I'm sitting with, all these people who are employed, this is the league. It's going up to ping pong balls. I just can't believe it.
So you think when they bring Chris Mannix into the room where they do this and all,
Yeah,
that's
I
just
worked in
all,
that building.
It's all fake? All the reporters who've actually witnessed it, it's all just a hoax?
They
Look at that.
witness a version of it. They don't actually witness the actual ping pong balls. You got to...
This sounds like a version of the moon landing kind of thing.
No, I'm not. This is sports conspiracies. I'm not taking it to JFK and the moon landing and all that stuff. I'm just
I
saying...
think that Patrick Ewing and the frozen envelope is right there with the moon landing. And I think you can compare
The
those.
stakes are a little lower, but yeah.
You just described the NBA as way so important with these 1,000 employees.
All right, sorry. Okay, stakes are the same.
Yeah, the moon. We see the moon every day. We don't see Patrick Ewing going to the Knicks every day.
Come on.
He's right there.
Big East to MSG. Come on, that was very important.
Like Shaq said,
I'll give you JFK's higher on the ranking, but not the moon landing.
We see the moon every day.
Like Shaq says, I see the moon up there. It would take me less time to get to the moon than it would to California.
That's rough.
But
anyway.
I just think that, like we had this discussion the other day, and like EJ's like, well, of course Atlanta won the lottery the year that Ricochet was in.
I'm not giving you an answer for every single scenario.
It was a good one, because it was a bad draft.
Right, so give it to the team that never had one. There's your story.
But then you're just making up random facts. If somebody else had won, then they could have been that.
Not random facts. These are, again, you're speaking.
So, okay.
Well, they're not facts
These are well thought out theories.
So, EJ,
right.
EJ, and be honest, before that lottery, did you say, wow, this is, it's kind of a weak draft. This is clearly the Hawks' time?
No, I'm one of those folks who feel like when it's one of those drafts where they're not a clear story, I don't think the NBA cares as much.
Oh, so, wait, but you just said they cared about Atlanta.
No, I'm saying no, but there's a story there. I'm saying that there's nothing to obviously grasp at. There are a bunch of French guys. There's not a local act. There's not an obvious star. Okay. So how do we drum up something interesting about this? Well, you got a guy who never played. A team that never got the number one pick. All right, there's a story.
Maybe when there's not a player that they need to route somewhere, they just let the ping pong balls fly.
Yes, I think that's more likely than anything else. I do think that when Zion got that, come on, that was obvious.
Why was
New Orleans?
Why?
Because they just lost.
Right
they
there.
lost Anthony Davis.
Wait, but New York was right there, EJ.
No, I know, but do you think the Adam Silver is going to give James Dolan and the beef they've had? He's going to give them the best prospect for 20 years? No chance.
Also, the weird thing is about the Knicks is that they don't actually, ever since Ewing, they actually don't need this.
Right.
The Knicks have the highest ratings, ticket sales, all that stuff, even when the team sucks.
It doesn't matter.
I also think there's part with ownership, right? So I think Benson's, had taken over the team, and kind of stepped up, I guess, when other people, when remember the league had to take over the Hornets at one point, and in the franchise in New Orleans at that point. That's why I thought when Michael Jordan sold, I actually thought they'd give the number one pick to the Hornets, but they didn't end up doing that, so I was wrong on one of my theories. But anyway, the bottom line is LeBron's one of us.
Still ended up with a hell of a player.
The New Orleans gets the number one pick both times their stars ask out.
Yeah, listen,
come on.
We know the NBA. They say we got to get the stars to San Antonio and New Orleans and Orlando.
They do.
Why? You could make the argument there's 7 other teams they could have given it to. So tell me, EJ and Maggie, Maggie's going on the record with Washington.
Yep.
Who are you? Are you agreeing?
I've been saying Philly, or I think Philly, Brooklyn, or Utah are my teams.
So it's so obvious it could be one of 4 teams.
Right. It's not. Yeah. No, of course.
Well, honestly, I look at this and I think the way the NBA works, it definitely could be one of these 14 teams. Because it's ping pong balls.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? They flatten the lottery odds, and teams are still tanking.
Yes,
right?
sir.
I mean, teams are not discouraged by the fact that they have a 4% chance because they realize there's more factors at play.
No, I think
my theory.
I think the Sixers are tanking because they flattened the lottery odds and they said, "Ooh, we got a good chance. If we get to 5, we could move up to number 1."
Maybe you do, or
but
maybe
that's just the odds. That's not.
But there is
maybe
a
it's preordained.
But there is a impetus to want to have stars in small markets. And David Stern talked about that all the time, that in order to make those markets viable, you need star players. So this idea
the original theory is Patrick Ewing went to New York.
But that was in 85.
That was 85, and that was a different time. I mean, again, the NBA has long been – that's why you think they've changed all the rules to try to incentivize guys re-signing with their original teams, because they want guys to stay on these teams. They want guys to stay in smaller markets.
But it seems like you guys have a theory to fit any pick. Derrick Rose, hometown guy in Chicago, big, huge market. It just feels a little convenient that you could always find a reason like, oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that means they're doing it well.
This is how conspiracy theorists.
That means the NBA's doing it well. Yeah.
You're like,
they're doing it better than anyone.
I don't know. It just seems like it's also possible. It's possible that it's random luck.
It's on the table. I don't know if that's the lead.
It's on the table.
Yeah, I mean, they do have like Price Waterhouse sitting there, but you know.
Those people, La La Land. Sure, how much you trusting Price Waterhouse?
And by the way, is it a surprise that LeBron, king of the millennials, thinks that this is a theory? This is your generation. You guys think this is all?
It should be your
all
generation.
fixed. No.
Which generation are you in?
I'm Gen X. We think this is all. None of it matters. We're slackers.
All hogwash.
Yeah. No, we don't even. We're like. We don't even care if it's fixed. Where you guys are like, this is all. Yeah, you guys think everything's a conspiracy, kind of. You're right. I'm not saying you're wrong.
You guys aren't from the same generation?
That's what I'm confused with now.
I'm Ben Stiller and Ethan Hawke.
You hear his disdain for movie sequel comedies. And you hear Maggie's joy. I think that kind of made it clear the generational
the line in the sand.
There are not other millennials who like comedy sequels. This is a Maggie Gray special.
Comedies particularly, yeah.
I tried to get EJ on board. Although, EJ, when you were doing some research about Caddyshack 2, did you not find that funny clip with Randy Quaid?
There were some funny clips. And I
Bogus.
was like,
can you tell Gordon Damers was here yesterday? Can you tell his reaction to Caddyshack 2?
I asked him the question if it was good, and he said no immediately. No hesitation. Nice and short. Yeah.
I mean, listen, that's his opinion, bro.
It's the worst movie of all time.
Oh, I can find worse.
No, you can't.
I can.
You can't.
The only movie I ever left during was a movie called Road to Wellville. That movie was worse than Caddyshack 2.
I haven't heard about that movie.
That sounds familiar. Who's in that?
Oh, actually, it's one of those movies that has like a lot of famous people, like in an ensemble cast, and it's like about maybe the 1920s weird wellness center, and it's just terrible.
It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
No. More like rich people retreat, trying to. That's what's called the Road to Wellville.
In the Roaring 20s? Yeah, okay.
Have you seen the movie Legend of Chun-Li, Street Fighter? That movie is the worst movie I've ever seen.
No, but I love playing with Chun-Li in Street Fighter.
That is way more fun than watching the movie with Kristen Cruick.
Just
it was awful.
One small point. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was not a wellness retreat.
No, it was a psych ward. I get that.
It was not a spa.
That's what the chief was talking about?
Yeah. Did you miss my Bill Burr thing?
What's that?
He was talking about how bad sequels are, and he made up all these sequels and pitched them to Hollywood, including a sequel to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest called Two Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, starring Chief Bromden.
Yeah, can they bring back McMurphy after he's had a lobotomy?
Yeah, that was the plot.
That's a whole other conversation we should have, which is just the worst movie of all time. That's not our movie sequels bracket. We're trying to find the best sequel of all time.
But there are some nominees in there.
Well, Revenge of the Nerds 2 wasn't exactly
that did not get Oscar buzz.
Bogus, stick around, will you? We'll get to some headlines in a moment because we blew that. Lots more to do, including your phone calls at 888-710-4ISN. 2 questions for you. 1, could LeBron James have been this successful in any era? 2, who's the Week 1 starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? Call it now, MMP.
So forget about it, cuz.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, Toto.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're having a deep music conversation in the break about the greatest artists of all time, Jay-Z, Janis Joplin, and then we get to Toto.
Great karaoke song.
I was not a part of that conversation.
Andrew Bogish has headlines for us. We are asking a couple questions for you today. One, LeBron claims he can play in any era. Do you agree with him? And secondly, who is the day one starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? Got any guesses? We'll take them at 888-710-4ISN.
Her barely covered upper chest area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that about?
Oh, Maggie, you do not want to know.
Here, I'll show it to you, Maggie.
Geez, I'm off for 1.5 days, puking my brains out because I got some kind of norovirus, and the show went totally off the rails.
Calling all boobs.
That I was here for.
I said, this is going to sound bad.
What happened? Just come clean.
Just before Bogie says it, Andrea saw 3 things yesterday and was like, so this is what you guys do when Maggie's not there.
Yeah, it felt a lot like, but Andrea doesn't know. Maggie would have been right in it on this conversation.
Which is what I tried to tell her.
I know, I'm as immature as anybody, but what were you guys talking about?
Boobs. I got this text in the show prep thread on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
This is
that Sydney Sweeney?
It is.
Yes. Okay.
But it popped up on my watch while I was sitting with stranger parents at a swim meet on Tuesday. So I wasn't sure how judged I was being.
But also the way your watch framed it is it did not show her entire face.
Yeah.
So you had no idea who the...
I knew. I had done my research beforehand. I knew who they belonged to.
You can spot her just by the...
Yeah. So the watch... I didn't know it was going to go through to your watch. The story was Sydney Sweeney.
I got to fix that.
Sydney Sweeney erased a picture of her fiance on her Instagram feed.
Why? They're breaking up?
Well, that's what Manny hopes.
So I texted Good News Manny, and the shot was revealing. Barstool Sports put it out there.
Wait, hold on, Maggie. Here's the kicker, though. I was not in that group chat.
Nope. It was just.
Where were you, in Signal?
No, I was not a part. I was not a part of the group chat. Perloff created a group chat, had an article with a link, literally, and texted for Manny, and Manny was not a part of the group chat.
What are you running the Department of Defense?
You write for the Atlantic?
You're about as skilled at this as the guys in our government.
Maggie, you consider that newsworthy enough to make...
I wouldn't have batted an eyelash. I probably would have responded like, all right, we need a Manny makeover.
That's what I said.
I batted every eyelash.
Well, you can't stare and bat an eyelash at the same time.
His response yesterday, Maggie, was, I'd change her life.
I would in an instant.
But would you accept that as a woman?
Change it in
Is that a compliment?
Because she's not going enough Archbishop Stepanak game?
Hey,
she doesn't care enough about who's the next Iona head coach?
Hey, listen,
she's not going to watch a Knicks replay after just watching the Knicks game?
Listen, we had Coach Cal sitting baseline at those Stepanak games and the guy from the Bronx Tale, okay? So we have some stars.
Which means nothing to her.
We have stars come out in White Plains, okay?
Tale. Yeah, I'm sure you could change her life. Would it be for the better?
Come on, maybe. Who knows? Let's find out. What do you say? Who says no?
You know,
her.
I got in this discussion yesterday. Do you really want to date Sydney Sweeney? Because I think, Bogus, you might have said that she'd always be nervous when she's on a movie set with some
nervous, no matter what. So
yeah, her fiance. I don't know what. Does he walk around like he's the coolest guy in the world because she likes him, or is he just petrified constantly?
I would walk around.
Someone's got a poacher.
Yeah,
I would walk around like I got a 24-inch gold chain on my neck. Are you kidding me?
I thought you were about to say something else, and I was like, "Don't do it." Now that had made the group text.
What do you guys mean?
24 inches.
I was like, "Jeez, man."
Cuban link. Greedy.
Cuban link.
24 inches.
Cuban link chain.
You mean centimeters?
I don't want to even go to the metric system. We're not doing that today.
What the hell is a centimeter?
Would you constantly be nervous that someone bigger... Well, listen, I mean, you're not going to ever land someone like Sydney Sweeney unless you have a little bit of confidence to begin with. So I'm not saying you have to be like... You don't want to be a braggadocious, jerk. That's going to probably turn her off. But you got to have a little bit of confidence in yourself if you're going to nab Sydney Sweeney.
But when she comes home and says, honey, I'm going to be in this rom-com with Glenn Powell.
Yeah, for 3 months in Hawaii.
3 months in Hawaii, and he's not allowed to wear a shirt for the entire thing.
Yeah,
why
I'd be
do you think
nervous.
the fiance's gone? That's exactly what happened.
Sounds good, honey. I'll watch Jalen Brunson highlights without my shirt.
Manny might be the
so,
perfect...
Manny, you could live with it.
Oh, come on.
It's like, why is the Sultan of Brunei on line 2? Huh.
Yeah.
Well, Yeah. Yeah, probably. And listen, Jennifer Aniston. Look what happened. Brad Pitt and Angelina. But listen, sometimes it's like men, if you're going to be with somebody and they're going to cheat on you anyway, then that person wasn't right for you to begin with.
Not Manny.
No, I actually had the same
We know
thought.
you'd be loyal.
Because I imagine shooting a movie like that, you're close all the time.
I think it happens all the time. Like on-set romances.
That's terrible, though. If I ever become a movie star after my performance in Hustle, I'm going to bring my wife and kids onto the set. Actually, I don't even think I need to.
I remember Amy Pascal, the head of Sony, told Zendaya and Tom Holland, you guys will fall in love. Because every person that plays Peter and MJ has fallen in love.
Wait, so Tobey Maguire dated Kirsten Dunst?
Yeah. And then, of course, Garfield and Emma Stone, who she played Gwen Stacy.
cat?
But
Is that right?
Yeah. So she said that, trust me, guys, you guys are going to fall in love because this is what happens, so just be ready. And they were like, no way. And, of course, now they're engaged.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone were a couple?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that.
They
That's
tried
a
to
cool
keep that
couple.
they tried to keep that very quiet, but it was impossible.
And now he's dating the woman from the Bob Dylan movie.
Yes.
That's a new power couple.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the woman who played Joan Baez?
Yeah.
All right, back
She's
to Manny's
cute.
makeover for a second.
And not Bogus's update.
No,
I feel
it doesn't
like
matter.
we'd need like a Aladdin 3 Wishes level makeover here. But I think that would do
Ouch.
it.
That feels mean.
Yeah, that was below the belt.
You're talking about Sydney Sweeney. If Oh, now I'm the jerk.
I got faith in Manny.
Oh, that's nice. I don't have faith in myself.
See, the first wish is a little confidence.
I think Manny's got the looks and everything. It's his personality that's the problem.
No,
and we
his
can work on
personality
that.
is great.
Yeah, the Knicks are the problem.
No,
I am such a humor.
His personality is great for us. It's
I
not
am a
great to
joy.
land a Sydney Sweeney.
I am a joy to be around.
I think you are.
Unless she happens to be in his living room watching a Knicks game with him, this is not going to work. He needs a total
Unless
personality
he's a Knicks
makeover.
assistant coach. I don't think that might be.
Does she come with a whiteboard?
Yeah, she's
Draw
been
plays?
grinding tape with Tibbs overnight.
Let's set elevator screens in the corner, girl.
Man,
If Sydney Sweeney's walking around here, but she's doing an appearance, what's your opening line to Sydney Sweeney?
I can change your life.
go back to that 24-inch thing. You might have maybe. And I'm no guarantees.
My name is Andrew Bogush.
Yeah, sorry,
Sydney, honey,
Andrea.
give me a call, girl. 888-710-4ISN.
Wow, you gave her the Batline number. She only has to wait behind Sean in Oregon and Big Dave in
And
Kentucky.
Andrea. I'll give her the hotline number,
Actually,
too.
better weigh it on LeBron in the 80s. I want to hear her opinion.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
The rumors are flying. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. This one really came out of left field, Pearl, and it has to do with the Dallas Cowboys. So yesterday, got a clip from Bruce Drennan, who, longtime Cleveland guy, been covering the market for years, said this came across his desk.
That part of the reason Myles Garrett was so willing to sign this extension for contract, money. The Browns are negotiating as we speak with the Dallas Cowboys for a trade for Dak Prescott.
Kaboom. I mean, if this guy is even close to being right, that's a really big meatball to drop a month before the draft. Now, here's the thing. Every Dallas reporter came out, says there's nothing to this. This is obviously the Cowboys, telling through the media, that this is not going to happen. And would it be hard to make the money work? Definitely. And what would the Cowboys do for a quarterback? And there's a lot of questions here, but it appears to me that the Browns are being, I don't want to say nonchalant, but it does not look like they are drafting a QB. And I'm following the betting markets to tell me that, where Abdul Carter is the favorite to land at Cleveland with number 2. Mm-hmm. So I ask you, what is Cleveland doing for a quarterback? Deshaun Watson is hurt. They signed Kenny Pickett as a backup. That's not a solution. So is it possible that they're looking at other teams and looking at other starters and thinking, all right, we could poach somebody, and that's how we're going to kickstart whatever this era is of Browns football?
It makes no sense. That scenario makes no sense to me. They have no salary cap space. So how do they bring in another quality starter? They'd have to get a distressed asset like Kirk Cousins, unless that's who you're talking about.
Well, maybe it's Cousins, but let's go back to the Dak thing for a second. Dak's owed a lot of money. I get that. It's not a lot of years. If the Cowboys take on some of that money and Cleveland sends back another player or something like that, and if Dallas is going to start over maybe with a young quarterback and they get cheap at that position, then maybe you make it work. I can't say.
I don't think I'm not sure that's how it works.
But here's the thing. I can't, in professional sports now, with all the shoehorning that I've seen and all the improbable trades that we've seen in our life, I can no longer just say, oh, the money doesn't work. Because I've seen in the NFL, I've seen in basketball, times where people were deemed untradeable and still got traded. So I can't just say, well, on its face, the money doesn't work, because I think the salary cap is almost a figment of our imagination.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that, because you see teams making moves all over the place because of the salary cap. What we're talking about, the Niners earlier in the show, they obviously made a million moves this offseason to clear up salary. Every team clears up salary cap space. You say the money can't work. You're telling me there's one random team that's going to have the two most expensive quarterbacks in the NFL history are going to be on the same roster? You're right. Salary cap is confusing, but there's no way that can happen.
Well, I think that I don't know how the Deshaun Watson contract's going to get paid out. I don't know what the injury may or may not have to do with that. And then two, I saw the Denver Broncos, I saw my Buffalo Bills take unprecedented dead cap hits.
Right, but then the Broncos couldn't sign anybody for 2 years.
But they have Bo Nix.
They had to draft somebody. That's what the Browns presumably should do. They have to go cheap.
Then why do you think they have not been linked to any quarterback in this draft?
Well, there's also a report that they're open to trade the number 2 pick. Josina Anderson had that yesterday. I think they might like a second-tier quarterback more than they like Shedeur Sanders.
See, I get that, but I also don't, because if you look at Kevin Stefanski and who he's had success with, right, it's the Case Keenum, it's Kirk Cousins, it's guys who actually fit the profile of
Flacco.
Shedeur. A pocket passer who's accurate, who's maybe not the most athletic guy, maybe doesn't have the biggest arm. Well, guys, that's exactly the profile of Shedeur.
Yeah, but what's different about Shedeur and those guys? They didn't need to use a number 2 overall pick to get all those guys. Kirk Cousins, a 4th rounder. Case Keenum, undrafted.
Sure.
Joe Flacco, off the couch. Who is another Stefanski quarterback? Well, I guess, generally.
But he'd still be cheap. Even if he's a first-round pick, he's still going to be cheap.
More likely, I'll bet you he says, ooh, there's a guy in the top of the second round or trade back in the first that I can do that with. I don't really need to use it. Daniel Jeremiah, the NFL Network guy, put out a scenario. Would you rather have Abdul Carter at number 2 pick and Tyler Shuck at the number 33 pick, or 34 pick, sorry, or would you rather have Shedeur Sanders and whatever defensive end you get at 34?
Right.
I think it's pretty obvious if you put that as a poll, people are going to take the Abdul Carter route, because I don't think there's such a huge difference between Shedeur at number 2 and the next level of quarterback at the second pick in the second round.
That's fine, but you better have a crystal ball that's absolutely correct, because you don't know what other team could also be thinking in that same way. It's not a given that you're going to get your guy with the 34th pick.
Stefanski can work with any of these guys. He could turn Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck. If he can make Kirk Cousins and Joe Flacco and Case Keenum that effective. By the way, he wasn't even the OC for Case Keenum, which is a bit of a stretch. But if he can make all those guys effective, he can make, who knows? We saw Will Howard with throwing darts yesterday. He can make, probably not Jalen Milroe, he can make Quinn Ewers good. I think that they say, hey, we could get a second-tier quarterback here and make it work.
Couldn't make Deshaun work. And I know injuries played a big role in that, but was Deshaun that kind of guy, right? Like, did they feel like he had the same characteristics as these other, like Kirk Cousins, these more traditional dudes?
They thought Deshaun's mobility and playmaking would make a difference. But to be fair, Deshaun, A, was dealing with a lot off the field. And,
of course. Well, that's their own fault.
Of his own making. And B, was injured. So I'm not sure that really applies.
So who do you think is going to be the week 1 starter for the Browns?
Carson Wentz.
Man, wouldn't they just have signed him already?
I think they're all waiting on the draft, because I don't know. They might think, hey, maybe Shedeur's still in play there, or maybe a second round guy is still in play. I have this in my mind: a Carson Wentz, Kenny Pickett, camp battle for the ages.
Do you realize how depressing that is? That is so depressing. You got a guy who flamed out already in another AFC North team who said no thank you, and you have somebody who's basically one of the most unpopular locker room guys and has been jettisoned from 2 different teams.
Wait,
More, 3. So I don't love my pickings there. Can I give you my outside the box thought on who could be the week 1 starter for the Browns? I think Brock Purdy's in play. I think that if the 49ers, they say they love him, and I'm sure they like him a lot, but this thing also could be signed. And Jordan Schultz, the insider, is reporting yesterday that no deal is imminent. So they're going to wait again till training camp or what have you. They signed Mac Jones, who we know that Kyle Shanahan had an affinity for before the draft.
McKenzie.
I think Kyle Shanahan thinks that he can win with any quarterback, kind of like Stefanski maybe. And I think they want to keep themselves cheap at QB to be able to build up all around the quarterback. And I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, it's funny because other people read Jordan Schultz's words. The Niners and Purdy are in active contract negotiations as a positive sign.
It says no deal imminent.
Yeah,
so
but
who cares if they're negotiating if the deal's not getting done? That's just talking.
Schultz wrote, while sources don't believe a contract extension is imminent, Fox Sports has learned that both sides are actively negotiating with the intent to finalize a deal before the 2025 season. Keep in mind, the owner said, I love Brock Purdy. I want him to be here. Keep in mind, the GM said, we really like Brock Purdy. We want him to be here. Keep in mind, Kyle Shanahan probably said the same thing. So you could read the tea leaves and say, man, the Niners are working towards signing Purdy.
Yeah, before the beginning of the season. I freaking hope so if they actually want him to be their quarterback.
But every action they've done and every word they've said has been, let's sign Brock Purdy. So I think, listen,
I'm
your
skeptical.
thinking is interesting. I'm not skeptical at all. It feels like, compared to Brandon Ayuk, this is a love affair between Purdy and the Niners. Ayuk and the Niners were an absolute mess until the final week of the season. I think this looks really good. I think the Niners are trying to actually, and obviously failing, to put out a positive spin on this whole thing. I think they're trying to get the word out, hey, we're working hard to get this deal done.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Let's get to some movie sequels. All right, guys, we are on to the second round of the Los Angeles region of the Maggie and Perloff sequels bracket, movie sequels. With the Sweet 16 getting back underway today, we get back to our silly bracket. The number 1 overall seed in this region, Terminator 2.
Kill us all!
Come with me if you want to live.
So good.
I'll be back.
Such good Arnold there. The number 1 seed in that region, again, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, up against the 8th seed, Back to the Future 2.
The answer's no, Griff.
No.
Yeah, what are you, deaf and stupid? I said no.
What's wrong, McFly? Chicken?
What did you call me, Griff?
Chicken! McFly!
Nobody calls me chicken.
All right, the 12th seed in the LA region of the Maggie and Perloff movie sequels bracket is Minions: Rise of Gru.
Kelly!
Daddy! Brad! Mom! Quizá la mama!
Oh, my favorite tiny relatives! Oh, no, guys, come on! Hey, I got an image to uphold here!
Minions: Rise of Gru takes on the number 4 seed, X2.
You haven't told him about his past, have you?
I put him on the path. Logan's mind is still fragile.
Is it? Or are you afraid of losing one of your precious X-Men, old friend? Eric, what have you done? I'm sorry, Charles. I couldn't help it.
What have you told Stryker?
Everything.
I'll tell you what, you know what really saves these comic book movies is the level of actor that they have. It's like Patrick Stewart, right?
Yeah,
Ian McClellan.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Ian McClellan.
No, it's
Whenever-
Patrick Stewart and
Yeah, right.
Both,
It's like
yeah.
these are powerhouse actors.
And they're coming back to New Avengers, baby, announced yesterday.
Amazing. We're in the LA region of the Maggie and Perloff
Amazing.
sequels bracket.
She's like, are you aware of the actors of these movies? Yeah, they all made $4 billion. We all saw them except you.
Not getting my money. Okay, here we go. The 6th seed in this region is Mission Impossible 2.
Stop mumbling.
Freddy's got no choice. I believe I break his jaw. Stamp. I'm impressed.
Right, we don't have a lot of time, hon.
Whatever you gotta say it now. How about giving us a big smile? No?
What are you doing?
Get down on your knees.
Yikes. Okay, the 6th seed Mission Impossible 2 faces off against the true Cinderella of this region and of this tournament. That would be the 14 seed Naked Gun 2.5.
Frank Ribbon Police Squad, what do we have here?
It's a tense situation, Lieutenant. Savage is holed up in that house over there. Says he's got hostages.
Could be bluffing. Anything else?
Yeah, that red van, it's registered to one Quentin Habsburg.
No donuts today, Vern? Club sandwich?
Well, looks like the cows have come home to roost. How you doing, Trooper?
So silly. The 7th seed in the LA region of the Maggie and Perloff sequels bracket is Die Hard 2.
That punk pulled a Glock 7 on me. You know what that is? It's a porcelain gun made in Germany. Doesn't show up on your airport x-ray machines here, and it costs more than you make in a month.
You'd be surprised what I make in a month.
It's more than $1.98. I'd be
Hey,
very
McLean,
surprised.
don't start believing your own press, huh? Yeah, I know all about you and that Nakatomi thing in L.A. But just because the TV thinks you're hot, that don't make it so. Look, you are in my little pond now, and I am the big fish that runs it.
I love cops talking tough.
Is that Dennis Franz? That sounds like a Dennis Franz character.
Does sound like Dennis Franz.
The guy from NYPD Blue?
I don't remember who it is.
Yeah.
Die Hard 2 faces off against the 2nd seed in this region, Spider-Man Far From Home.
I thought he was my friend, so I gave him the only thing that Mr. Stark left behind for me, and now he's gonna kill my friends in half of Europe, so please, do not tell me to relax.
I'm sorry, Happy. I'm sorry I shouldn't shout. I just really miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too.
Everywhere I go, I see his face, and the whole world is asking who's gonna be the next Iron Man. I don't know if that's me, Happy. I'm not Iron Man.
Okay, there you go. The LA region, the second round is now open for voting. So go ahead and vote for your favorite movie sequel.
Yeah, I'm a huge X2 fan. I think, obviously there are heavyweights here, Terminator 2, but
Naked Gun 2.5.
Naked Gun 2.5.
Let's keep it going, people.
Yeah. Die Hard 2 is not my favorite of the Die Hard movies. Die Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson, that was pretty good. Anyway, all strong candidates.
So go ahead, go vote. I'm rooting for Naked Gun 2.5. I want the Cinderella to advance. We've got so many Mission Impossibles.
Yeah, I know. By the way, if you're voting on Mission Impossible, you have to name the bad guy in that one compared to the other ones. It's not the Philip Seymour Hoffman one, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, Mission Impossible 2 getting into the second round, I thought was a little weak.
MI2. People love the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, 2 I thought was that was one of the worst ones, no?
Well, maybe Lieutenant Frank Drebin will take him out. So there you go. At Maggie and Pearl on X, you can go vote for your favorite movie sequel. We'll update the results tomorrow. Coming up next, guys, it's not only the Sweet 16 today. Opening day. The real one.
Forget about it, cuz.
The real one.
Yeah, my best friend sent me a note saying, it's opening day, Perloff.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it
right
next.
Now. Yeah, he wants some more baseball, and we will deliver.
Bruce, we got you right after this.
All right, Maggie, I am in a great mood this morning. Not only is it opening day, and you can get into baseball on Prize Picks. I won big with Luka Doncic last night. Thank you very much.
Nice.
He didn't hit the game winner, but he did have over 43 rebounds, assists, and points. And that's the kind of thing you can make picks on in Prize Picks. It's the best place to cash in on your favorite sport. Over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. So simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on their projection, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money.
How about this for a slam dunk? Let's just go baseball. Shohei Ohtani, more than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Feels
Given.
like no-brainer. And how about a little Juan Soto making his Mets debut in Houston today? More than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. So let's just go with the two
So
heavy
you're going
hitters.
big ticket.
Yeah, I'm
to
going.
start.
I mean, it's opening day. Let's do it. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code MNP. You get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code MNP on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. So win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Manned P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The show is sponsored by Hyundai. The Hyundai Getaway sales event is going on now. Get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. But don't wait. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Welcome back, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. It's opening day, Pearl, like for real.
Yeah, not the overseas opening day. It's a real deal. Pretty exciting. Feels like MLB's in a good place.
I would say so. If we're talking about the one thing we're looking forward to the most this season, let's just take our own teams out of it, or I'll take my own team out of it. It's when does Shohei Ohtani get back on the mound? So here's the latest, right? He was maybe circling May. That's what Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, had said. Maybe May. He had started doing some bullpen sessions. Things were going well. Then that trip to Japan to do the Japan opening day, like opening day 1.0, happened, and he stopped doing bullpen sessions, and the schedule got a little bit wonky. So now Dave Roberts is totally backtracked on this May situation, and I really want to see him pitch. You and I will disagree about this until the end of time. Ohtani is box office as just a hitter, but the thing that makes him so unique is his ability to pitch also, and especially those high leverage situations, like when we saw him pitch against Mike Trout in the World Baseball Classic, one of the great baseball moments like ever, and I want to see him back on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's unique as a hitter too. He's clearly the best hitter of this generation. I think he's Babe Ruth. I think he was as good. He was a great. Babe Ruth was a very effective pitcher too. But what makes him different is he's so far away. I was pulling up his numbers earlier. The dude's OPS is insane. Every single year, he towers over the plate. I think he's unique to watch just as a hitter. I don't want the pitcher because I think you risk injury and you're going to take him away as a hitter. He's already good enough to win the MVP every year. He's good enough to lead you to a title every year. If I had to pick a story, to me, it is the Dodgers, but not Shohei. Just, is this a dynasty? I saw they were the biggest Vegas favorite since 2002 when the Yankees were at the height of the evil empire. They put together this dream team, and now they had the expensive team before, and now it's working. And you guys will never let me do this, but I consider them my second NL team.
The
second
NL
on,
team
give me the
doesn't
Dodgers.
exist. That's not real.
They're very likable, though. I think they're a likable dynasty, unlike those great Yankee teams. Everybody hated them because of the whole Steinbrenner thing. I don't know why you would hate this Dodgers.
Oh, I don't like these Dodgers because, I'm excited to watch them, but I don't like them.
Because you're a Mets fan, and you guys are trying to be the big spenders, and they've cheated the system by deferring money, but they've gotten very likable players.
No, that's it. See, the Ohtani deferring everything until 2030 and making all this room so that the Dodgers, they are spending a lot, but he's giving them the ability to spend so much more. Juan Soto is not taking a penny less or
so
anything.
So that makes the Mets likable because they're having to pay retail price for Juan Soto?
No, I'm under no illusions that the Mets are likable. I like them because they're my team, but I don't think people at large don't like the Mets. I think the Dodgers are skirting, they're finding this sort of loophole. So good for them, but it doesn't mean I have to like them. Also, Freddie Freeman's been kicking my team's butt for years. I'm a fan of his, personally, what he's been through, his kid, all that stuff is sad story and now a happy story, but I'm not pulling for them.
But but the players, you have to admit, part of you's not pulling for Shohei, part of you's not pulling for Mookie Betts. Who doesn't like Mookie Betts?
I mean, everyone likes Mookie Betts, but I'm just telling you, I'm not a Dodger fan.
No, okay.
And I never will be. I think it's sacrilegious.
Can you muster the hate for the Dodgers?
Yeah, because I root for another team in the National League. I do.
But, okay, I'm a Phillies fan. I hate the Braves. That hate comes very naturally. I just don't like them. I can never feel that way about the Dodgers.
They're both in the National League. You can see one in the postseason just as easily as you can see the other.
Yeah, but one is evil and one is not.
Yeah, what about the Braves? Are so evil?
The Braves they just never go away.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are some shrinking violet.
No, it's just they're my rival. The Dodgers are not the Phillies' rival. They're out west. The Phillies are in the east. They've been battling the Braves forever, and it's just how rivalries go. The Dodgers, I guess, their rivals. If you're a Giants fan, of course you hate the Dodgers.
Absolutely.
But if you're an East Coast fan, I can't imagine mustering hatred towards that team.
Got plenty of it. Anyone else? Big storylines you're looking forward to?
We were just discussing it outside.
Red Sox for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's kind of not a lot. Like, after the Dodgers, I guess there's, the two teams playing in new places, the Rays playing at the Yankees facility and the A's being in Sacramento, and the A's spend some money. The AL Central's a little intriguing if you like the Tigers and the Royals and the Guardians, if that's your cup of tea.
Yeah.
And, who are the Red Sox the best competition for the Yankees in the AL East right now?
The one thing about the Red Sox that's interesting, so they announced yesterday that Rafi Devers is going to be a DH and Alex Bregman is going to be the full-time third baseman. And this had been like a dramatic thing because Devers was basically saying, you paid me, I'm here first, I want to play third base. And Alex Cora said, we don't care. And I think this would be a bigger, more dramatic thing if people didn't trust Alex Cora so much. I know he got wrapped up in the Astro scandal and he ended up getting fired. Now he came back. But everyone knows he's a really good manager, and I think he has a lot of cachet. So I think he's going to win this power struggle.
But I almost feel like even beyond just that drama, which I think is interesting, is simply like, are the Red Sox back? I mean, they've been kind of like a dead team for years now.
Well, I mean, they won 18.
That's a long time. Years,
18,
exactly.
That's 7 years.
That's 7 years ago. I mean, and I'm saying dead. I mean,
Traded Mookie Betts.
Not in the playoffs.
That's sad.
Just not relevant. So, like, are they actually back? Like, we've seen the Yankees go to the World Series. We've seen them kind of be in the mix. Like, is Boston back, or is it still like a Celtics town right now? Like, I don't know.
I would argue Boston's a little bit star deprived compared to what they used to have. They way back in the day, they had Manny and Big Papi.
Definitely.
And then even in 18, Mookie was still there, right? So I don't know. I'm not as high. My father-in-law would love to hear that. He's a huge Red Sox fan. How about the Yankees, by the way? To me,
totally.
They're
adding
always
Bellinger,
fascinating.
adding Paul Goldschmidt. This feels like Yankees of old, where they're collecting stars because they lost out on Juan Soto.
Yeah, but I love the fact that they lost out on Juan Soto and spent money on everyone else as a reaction.
The problem is that Garrett Cole's out.
Yep.
So
everyone's getting hurt.
I think people are down on them because the Cole injury. And he's out for the year.
And the Rookie of the Year, Lewis Heel, is going to be gone for who knows how long. And Stanton has
double tennis
5
elbow
injuries he's dealing with currently. So who knows when he's going to be back.
This is great. This is all fantastic. 85 wins coming from my Yankees. And you know what? They'll still probably make the wild card, and I'll still be miserable because I'm a Yankee fan.
It's funny. That is their projected. I was on doing a little work on Fangraphs yesterday, one of my favorite websites. I think it's 86 wins is projected for the Yankees. That's sad.
It's not sad because, there have been other friends. I could be a Rockies fan or something like that. But, 85 wins is just not the precedent for the Yankees. It's going to suck, I think. But you know what? Again, they'll probably still make the wild card, and I'll still be miserable about it.
By the way,
got the Giants to get through.
Probably have a way better chance winning 87 games going to the wild card. Trust me, that's better off than a lot of years there.
By the way, if we're talking about singular people to follow, is Paul Skeens next? Nolan? I think following him for a full season also is seeing what he does just in terms of chasing greatness at such a young age.
I want to see what Ellie De La Cruz does.
I was going to say
that's another guy.
Ellie De La Cruz, because do you know the manager of the Cincinnati Reds right now?
That would be one Tito Francona.
How about Francona's back managing the Reds?
Everybody on the show, MLB 25, the show cover is all interesting. You got him, you got Gunnar Henderson, and then Skeens. 3 of the biggest young stars in the game, and they're all going to be fun to watch.
I think, though, from a casual fan standpoint, it's Shohei's league, right? Even Skeens, All-Star break, they always lift one star up and focus on him. I still think he has such a stranglehold on the sport, star-wise, to me. Like, my guy, I'm a big fan of Bryce Harper. It doesn't even feel like him or Aaron Judge are relevant in Shohei's world to me.
His
they're a massive star.
and Livy Dunn.
I was going to say, I feel like the young fans, I think the Livy Dunn aspect with Skeens could be the difference maker in terms of propping him up to superstardom.
The celebrity couple
the
aspect.
The crossover aspect, yeah. Because, she was there when he got his Rookie of the Year award, right? In the Cy Young or whatever it was. She's front and center in this whole thing, too.
Hey, Livy, I know another mustache man who could probably change your life.
We're working on Sydney, okay?
Saving yourself for Sydney Sweeney. Jeez, Manny. Pick a lane.
I will pick every lane. I will drive in both lanes.
Technically, they're both taken, but sure.
Yeah, whatever.
We're just going to dream. Andrew Bogusch is here with headlines for us. Happy opening day.
Thank you very much. Guys, we kind of got an apology from Dan Hurley yesterday. I guess the UConn head coach is sorry he yelled about the officials to anyone from Baylor who was listening last weekend. But he wants to remind us that he thought he was in a safe space.
I said something in heat of the moment in an area of the arena that pretty much every game I've ever coached in college has been media free. Past the tunnel, by the locker rooms, in the hallway where the coaches go. I mean, that's for the combatants. That's for the competitors. That's not for camera phones.
You were screaming to the other team.
Yeah, and I can see the court behind him. He's not in like the basement of the arena.
It's just so funny. It's like that he had some private conversation that this journalist was infringing on. It's like you screamed it.
Yeah, like this came in like Calhoun Hall in stores.
Yeah,
like someone
tap your office.
Infiltrate the practice facility to get this
Give
video.
me a break.
Yeah, I saw Seth Greenberg at ESPN, former college coach, said that's a sacred space.
What, next to the hot dog stand?
Yeah,
it's super sacred.
I forgot who it was, but someone responded to that being like, are college basketball coaches on another planet?
Yeah.
Like, what are they talking about?
Yes, they are. They completely think the rules don't apply to them.
Hurley did also apologize for SID Bobby Mullen threatening the reporter who recorded the video and posted it, but he also did call Mullen a good soldier for trying to fight for the program.
By saying, I'll ruin your life.
Yep.
These guys are ridiculous.
I know a bag man when I see one.
The men's Sweet 16.
I called him a bad guy in November.
You were right.
Mm-hmm. Would you stop bragging about that Maui Invitational call out at Danny Early? Let it go, man.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if this is going to score you points with Sydney Sweeney, but it might. So maybe she hates Hurley too.
Hey, you know what? At least I get half a point.
The Sweet 16 takes the floor tonight. Alabama BYU is the first tip-off, 7:09 Eastern. That's the East region in Newark, New Jersey. As for the pros, Nikola Jokic is back after missing 5 games with that ankle injury.
Give it back to Jokic. Jokic on the pump fake. And over the shoulder, no looker.
That's Nuggets TV. This pass is pretty nuts. Jokic is spinning middle, throws the ball back over his shoulder to Aaron Gordon, who's running the baseline for a dunk. He finished with 39 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists in a 127-117 decision over the Bucks, who were playing without Damian Lillard and Giannis. We know that Dame is dealing with that blood clot issue. Giannis now apparently has a sprained foot. The Celtics rolled through Phoenix for a 132-102 win. LeBron's tip in at the buzzer got the Lakers a 120-119 win in Indy, and the Clippers 126-113 winners at MSG. They are now 6th in the West, dropping the Warriors back into the play-in for now. The NFL's competition committee is recommending that the dynamic kickoff become permanent. It's also suggesting that touchbacks be moved out to the 35-yard line, with the league projecting that'll lead to at least 60% of kickoffs being returned. Last season, it was just 32%. All of these proposals get voted on by owners at meetings next week.
Can I give you one other thing? Did you see they were banning a certain celebration?
And I need help on this one.
I wasn't sure what that may have been, but now that they're banning it, I think I've got a good idea of what that is.
So I thought it was like a drug move. Apparently it has gang connections.
Oh, is that? Okay, then I'm off. It's like a wiping your nose situation.
Yeah, CD Lamb does it the most, apparently.
Okay. I feel like I always thought this was something that was like maybe a reference, like a more of a sexual type of thing, something like that.
I thought it was a drug thing until this.
Is it a drug thing?
I thought it was like the dude sniffing the third baseline.
That's
what I thought it was.
Michigan baseball team.
Right.
Which Perloff said was old school.
I actually had a mental note yesterday. Look up what this nose thing is, and then I never got to it.
I guess all the interpretations that we have are all bad. So
well, there's probably the gang thing I did not hear.
Yeah,
that's what was in the Larry Brown Sports wrote that
it's
up.
A gang thing?
It has gang connections.
Well,
it didn't say what they were, but it said it has gang implications.
That's no good.
And you gotta get it out.
Yeah, young people. Is it gangs?
I don't know. I did not. I thought it was maybe a drug thing or just a cool way to say first down.
They do this in basketball too, don't they?
Not really. No, no. It's been more the
just the football guys.
The Bridges 3 thing. Got
looks like
RJ
a
Lewis.
gun.
You got
Yeah.
RJ Lewis in trouble. And
Wait.
I'm like, it's not a gun.
It's three fingers. Yeah.
What's the deal with the Cam Ward celebration? Is that going to be allowed?
I don't think anyone knows what that is still.
Yeah.
Has anyone asked him?
Well,
He kind of looks like it's like a how would you call it? Like
I mean,
your hand over your
Andrea
face.
always tells me he looks like he's smelling a fart, and she hates it. So, and I'm like, I guess I don't know, but everyone does it, and it's cool.
Does
She's
he
like,
hold his nose? He pinches it.
he closes his mouth.
Okay.
I'm gonna try not to close my mouth so you can hear me. He closes his mouth.
and then does the waves his hand.
Waves his hand in front of
Like
his
you
face.
stink.
Yes, like horizontal hand, just wrist flapping.
he said, by the way, he got it from, it existed before him. He said he got it from his coach at Washington State, that his whole team used to use it. I don't know what it is. I looked that up before.
That's crazy.
Can you ban something if you have no idea what it is?
I think that's why he's not saying what it is, because it's probably something
I think
unsavory.
I think your fiance's right on. I think
smelling a
it's,
fart.
Smelling a fart.
These guys stink. We scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean that's the only
Hold on.
logical explanation.
No. The universal smell in the fart is when you wave your hand
No, that's because
behind
you.
your butt.
Well, that's your own fart.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I think he's smelling someone
Wait, if
else's
somebody
fart.
else did it, that'd be weird because then you'd be claiming it for them.
That's what
a huge mistake.
Maggie, you should leave again.
I'm gonna sit this one out. Got no idea what I'm talking about.
That's what the cars behind you were doing after you threw up out the window. Nasty.
You were
So gross.
I want to cycle back to what sexual reference you thought wiping your nose
I don't
was.
know.
would like
I
to
thought
do
it was
that as well.
something weird.
Yeah, by the way,
Like, what do you guys?
That was crazy. Yeah, we just glossed over that one. That was
All
that
right,
was
let's
crazy.
keep it moving.
the way that you set up to you were so I figured it out. And by the way, you could be right for all we know, but still, you're
Maybe
way
we're losers
overcome.
and we're doing something wrong.
You know what? I'm out.
The second you said gang thimbles, Maggie's like, I'm out of my league there. I don't know what the heck's he doing.
I didn't even.
But can you
contemplate
picture
that.
these weirdos in the NFL corporate office sitting around trying to figure out this thing? If we can't figure it out, they're like
They're on Urban
65-year-old
Dictionary.
lawyers.
Like,
Yeah.
screw it, ban it.
Yeah, I love talking to the 58-year-old lawyer, being like, so, yeah, search this thing where a guy puts his finger to his nose and points straight ahead.
My favorite is when a player gets like first down or something. He starts doing a machine gun into the air, then telling the officials it was something else. And like, well, that because that gets you a penalty.
Yeah,
like,
it does. You can't do
why do
guns, though.
so many players do the gun thing and they can't help themselves? They're like, I got a first down.
America.
I'm really, really
I think it's
regretting bringing this up.
Yeah, it's like they're like kids. You're not allowed to do this. Now next year, people are going to be dying to do the nose wiping thing, but they're not allowed.
Our beloved NHO coaching carousel is spinning again this morning. The Flyers parting ways with John Tortorella.
Oh, Torts.
Waiting,
No.
Yeah, waiting on confirmation. Now, who gets that job? Who comes out of the waiting room?
It's got to be Mike Keenan. There's only
Maybe
5
Ken
coaches.
Hitchcock, yeah.
Scotty Bohm. No,
Right.
no.
Mike Babcock
Torch will
somewhere.
be back next year.
Yeah, that
Coaching somewhere
scandal
else.
really took away a lot of the regulars. You know,
He'll be the Ducks head coach in 7 weeks.
Yep.
probably.
On the ice last night, the Bruins' winless streak hit 6-2 in Anaheim. They remain 6 points out of a playoff spot. And I'll sneak in some F1 news this morning. Red Bull has dropped Liam Lawson in favor of Yuki Tsunoda. He's now the 6th different teammate for world champ Max Verstappen. Thank you, Manny. Back to you guys.
Okay, coming up, I've got a couple things for you, including we're going to give you the one new ballpark food that we would love to eat if we could transport ourselves to any of these stadiums across the country. I got a couple options here and so much more. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Maggie's rolling down the highway, feeling kinda rough. Last night's dinner, fighting back, oh man, it's getting tough. She grips her wheel, but it's too late, oh no, here it comes. Her Yeti ain't just holding water, now it's holding chunks. Oh, Maggie's puking in her car. Yeti bottle's gone too far. Her toothbrush ain't gonna make it through. Perloff's calling hazmat man, it's true. She stumbles into the studio, trying to play it cool. Perloff takes one whiff and screams, this ain't in my job rules. He's climbing on the desk, he's spraying Lysol in the air. Says I need a full decontamination, get me out of here. Oh, Maggie's puking in her car. Yeti bottles, a biohazard scar. Toothbrush soaked in bleach all night. Perloff's in a hazmat suit and fright. Eladio, he still ain't here. Probably at home, drinking a beer. WM's in a toxic state, but he's still on vacation, must be fate. Maggie swears she's feeling fine, says come on, let's do the show. Perloff shakes his head, says nah, I think I gotta go. The janitor quits, the boss is pissed, the whole place smells like doom. All cause Maggie's road trip snack made an exit too soon. Oh, Maggie's puking in her car. Perloff's running way too far. The Lottie's ghosting work again. Just another day on Maggie and Perloff. Maggie's rolling down the highway, feeling kinda rough. Last night's dinner, fighting back, oh man, it's getting tough. She grips her wheel, but it's too late, oh no, here it
a ton of time to do it. So first, what do you want to do first here? We got our home run draft for the season. We did this in the playoffs last year. We all had a really good time. We drafted a couple players. We each created our own teams, just a pure home run totals. Who could have the most productive home run sort of fantasy team, if you will, out of everyone on the show. So I think we'll have time to do 2 runs around. 2 turns. So we have 2 people on our team, and then I'll give you the ballpark food we'd be most excited to eat of the new creations for 2025. And happy opening day, everyone. Can we have a little bit of music, Manny? I'll ask you for that on the fly as we get going here. We never did an order. Meh.
Eat poor beauty.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't want to go first. If I get the first pick, I'm deferring. I want to go last. You go first, man.
So youngest. Go first then.
All right, Manny, you're up.
So what am I doing?
You get to pick someone who's going to hit the most home runs this season.
Do I pick one from each league or?
Whatever you want to.
All right, so then in that case, my first individual, I will go with a guy who plays pretty often, and mashes balls. Led the league in 23 in home runs. I'll
Just
go with
say
Matt
his name.
Olson.
Matt Olson. Okay, everyone keep track of your own teams, by the way.
Wait,
own
I
teams.
didn't think this through. I don't want to go last anymore. But
Of course you don't.
Too late.
gosh.
EJ, you're next.
All right, so Matt Olson, good pick. I'm
Thank
going to go with kind of the obvious. I'm going to go with Aaron Judge.
Okay, now I'm next. I will go with Shohei.
I'm going to go with Yordan Alvarez.
It's a good one.
Okay. I'm back to back. I'll go with Marcell Ozuna and Kyle Schwarber.
I will take Pete Alonso.
That means I will go with Vlad Guerrero Jr. in a contract year.
Let's keep it in. No, I don't want to keep it in New York. Let's go with Brent Rooker.
Nice. Good one.
New ballpark.
Yeah, I thought about the new ballpark thing.
My turn?
Yep.
I guess I'll go with the guy who left us, Juan Soto.
And May's going to go Soda. Should we go around one more time or no?
Yeah, one more.
You want to go one more? All right, Manny.
Oh, boy.
Back
One
up.
more.
Oh, my goodness. I will throw something at a wall and hope it sticks. How about Mike Trout?
I love that.
Bounce back year?
That's a nice pick there. I will go with, let's go with a guy who really helped me last time during this when I won, Fernandez Tatis Jr.
It's a good one. I will go with Ellie De La Cruz. Plays in a bandbox.
Wait, I don't remember who was picked.
That's
Well,
fine.
pick your-
I got
we'll
Gunnar
tell
Henderson.
you.
Oh,
That's
it was,
a good one.
okay. Ah, man. So you got Gunnar Henderson?
Yeah.
Ah, fine.
Happened 3 seconds ago.
I am doubling down. Not only is he a master home barista who uses all kinds of neat ingredients on TikTok, Bryce Harper.
Okay, cool. All right, we got our 3.
I wanted Gunnar Henderson.
Can I tell you what I wanted to pick?
Yeah,
because
who'd you like?
the new ballpark thing was kind of throwing me off. So I was looking at a lot of Rays and A's. Unfortunately, these guys don't have a ton of mashers on their team.
I took the one guy.
You took the one guy, but Brandon Lau could be another
Yeah.
guy. They're playing. The Rays are playing at the Yankees spring training of
Steinbrenner Field.
Steinbrenner Field. But the funny thing is, did you hear Kevin Cash talking about it and
No,
how
what'd he
nice it
say?
is? This guy's like major league manager. At one time, the Yankees and the Rays had a pretty good rivalry going, like in the 2018, 19, 2020 region. He's like, they got whirlpools in there.
If you have spent 5 minutes at the Trop, any other place looks like a palace. That place is the worst stadium I've ever stepped foot in.
You want to know what he said? He goes, they have whirlpools and TVs that are at like eye level. So you have to look up at the TV.
What a
like
concept.
Like you're sitting in the front row of a movie theater.
I was going to say whirlpools where Perloff's ankle was in the game.
The scabies guy. Yikes. Okay, can I give you some new ballpark food?
Oh, please.
That is now
Starving.
just new to 2025. So, oh gosh.
So no chicken bucket from Yankee Stadium?
Nah, you've been there, done that with the chicken bucket.
Oh, I have.
But you got the tiramisu helmet now.
Oh, that's
at
right.
Yankee Stadium.
And you got a hot dog bucket now, I think.
No,
too, right?
that was fake.
That was AI.
I was
That
so
AI.
bummed.
Yeah, at
that
City
was-
Field, yeah.
A hot dog bucket?
It was it said 12 hot dogs for like $13 in a huge Mets helmet, but it was not real. Damn it.
Can I offer you up the filthy mac fries from the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Hell yeah, you can. What is this?
That is Cajun fries, white cheddar mac and cheese, pork belly, bacon, crispy onions.
Oh,
Wipe
yeah.
your nose.
Can I offer you?
That's illegal now in the NFL.
We're gonna fine you.
15 yards, bogus.
Polish cannonballs. Any
I
idea
saw
what?
these, yes.
Any idea what these could be?
Robert
No idea.
Lewandowski into a pool.
Sounds like a shot more than a food.
They're in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
These
so it's some
are-
sort
Hot
of
dogs?
fries on a sandwich thing?
No.
Sausage.
These are fried balls full of egg noodles, kielbasa, cabbage, bacon, and cheddar cheese.
I think I'm good on that one. Thank you, Pittsburgh.
Oh,
How
that
about
sounds
the
amazing.
warehouse burger from the Baltimore Orioles, of course? This one is 2 beef patties, queso, fried onions,
Love a beef patty.
and a pretzel bun.
Ooh, all right. I'm
I'm
in.
interested in that one.
All right, you want something? How about sweet? Gave
Show
you a lot
trip
of
to Baltimore.
savory there.
Mm-hmm.
How about the White Sox have
No, thank you.
a celebration cake shake?
Who are you, Pizzolatti over there?
Yeah, you don't have to watch the team. Don't
You
worry.
got
You
to run the team for free.
It's birthday cake, ice cream, confetti cake, a pinwheel cookie, and a
I'm in.
maraschino cherry.
I am in. Oh, cherries? I'm so
Let's
in.
go.
You guys like
Yes.
foot-long hot dogs. How about this one? Daddy Mac Dog from the Houston Astros. It's
Love Daddy.
foot-long with brisket, mac and cheese, fried pickles.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Fried
take
pickles.
two.
Fried pickles.
Yeah, I'm into that. I like the combination
mac
of brisket
and cheese
and
on a
pickles.
hot dog? No.
Also, I can offer you the
Such a
What
small
Up
palate.
corn dog from the Seattle Mariners. It's a corn dog that's green on the outside. It's honey battered
I'm
and
out.
covered in spicy, crunchy coating, but it's Mariners green.
No, I was out. I would eat
Mariners
almost
green?
any corn dog, but when you said green, that was it for me.
And last one for you. How about Toronto Blue Jays offering cotton candy fries?
Go ahead.
Cotton candy stadium classics. Fries covered in blue sauce.
No.
The hell is that?
I think Maggie's only good sweet food hot take is that cotton candy sucks. Because you said you don't like cotton candy.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's just unless you're 4 years old, I don't know who's.
I didn't
actually
even like it as a kid. Like it's one of the things that looks cool and you eat it and you're like, this is very underwhelming.
Cotton candy is the best thing to ever happen to America.
Yeah, I like cotton candy.
What?
Wow, best things ever happened to America.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
I saw
That
one
includes
thing.
electricity.
I saw you could get lobster at a Yankees game. And
Yeah, that's new, I think.
So what does that mean? Like you get a whole lot, like you're sitting in the crowd, like cracking the
Yeah,
shell?
you see, here's the thing. The Yankees think of these gourmet meals, but they're not like eat at a ballpark food.
Well,
Like
you don't eat it at your seat. That's the legend seats, which I've been lucky enough to sit in. You go back behind the stadium.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crab legs, it's lobster. It feels like
everything
you're at a
included
wedding.
except for the alcoholic beverages. It's quite a life. But I mean, still, it's not like take me out to the ball game. Give me some Cracker Jacks,
City
man.
Field. You can get a tomahawk
Write a
steak
song.
now.
I know, but you have to be in the Delta Club or something, right?
Yeah.
Wait, so
Still.
is that free, the lobster? Is that like...
Yeah, it's part of the seats. The food is free, but Manny's right. You got to pay for the booze.
Oh, it's one of those situations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very similar to
Yeah.
the Sky Club.
Got it. Because we get lobster sometimes.
Yeah,
if
Maggie,
it
when
makes
we went to
sense.
Madison Square Garden, the
Yeah.
place that you can't go to.
Yeah,
we
wouldn't
had
know better.
Yeah,
No, I think the Yankees are selling a version of lobster, though.
Listen, Charles Oakley said that he's hoping he can get back in the Garden. I thought, hey, maybe there's hope for Maggie Gray. If Oak can get in there, I mean, they threw him out with armed security guys. If
on national television.
If he thinks he can get back in, I think, Maggie, you got a shot.
I know. One of us made some major contributions to the franchise. The other one.
Which is which?
You think that matters to James Dolan?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
When are they going to sell that team finally?
Never.
Anyway, thank you, DJ Stewart. Thank you to Manny Rodriguez, Andrew Bogish, Andrew Kaplan, Guido's Coffee Drinkers. You guys are phenomenal. Enjoy the Sweet 16. Enjoy opening day, the real opening day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
You don't want to make an enemy out of me.